we should be good to go. All right. Ah, I just moved my whole background. Why am I doing that? That's not what I wanted to grab. That's what I wanted to grab and put that back up here. Sorry, guys. Still a little bit discombobulated. Just had some of my neighbors over real quick. Cool guys. Always love to have a chat with them. One guy is an amazing Warhammer 40K painter, and the other guy is like an amazing like anime and like manga type artist too. Probably I couldn't have asked for better neighbors. Yeah, we are set. Ooh. All right. I got some really good news. Well, actually, I got some bad news and some good news. I don't know. The bad news is YouTube says I might have to wait as long as 2 weeks for my taxes to be approved. I don't know why. That sucks, and I don't get it. What's going on? Okay, that was weird. I had like a spinning loading wheel for freaking OBS here for a second. And the other thing I have is I got 3 days off this week. So woo! All right, lots of extra streaming time, which I'm very happy about. I'm just happy to have a goddamn weekend off where it's not off because I'm stressing out about a hurricane. This will be the first time I have an extended period off where it's not like, oh, will my house be there at the end of this extended period? Oh, great, super. Love to hear it. All right, I got a messy meal I need to eat here, so it's going to be kind of disgusting. If you're not a fan of my wonderful streaming ASMR, now is the time to sign off. Oh, shoot, I don't even have chat open. I am not completely put together today for my stream. I didn't really prepare very well like I normally do. So I usually prepare a lot better. Hold on, give me a second here. Okay, Ekrum's already on. We got Striker Hearthman. Hold on one second. Striker, did you join Discord like I told you to? I hope so. All right. Pop out. There we go. We just popped the chat out. All right. Oof, God. Of course, it has to pop out at the most giant size possible. Yeah, I'm very happy about the 3 days off. Not so happy about having to wait for YouTube to approve my W-9 form for taxes. It is kind of ridiculous. All right, Striker, I'm glad you did join that. Deco's made his appearance. What, are you trying to hide behind me? No, sir, you will not be sharing my hot wings. You already had like 3 snacks tonight, chunky boy. I'd pick you up, but I don't want cat hair on my hands as I'm about to start eating wings. I do need to grab something to drink. If you bit into this right now, your mouth would catch on fire. All right. All right, give me a second here. Let me capture chat too. Close this window back out. Hold on, pull this one over too. No, not laptop cam. We need, no, not music cap. Where's chat cap? There it is. Properties. All right, new one. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Unrested Marie Ackerman. I forgot my middle name was Marie. Timothy, what's up, dude, man? How's the comic book drawing going? I hope good, man. No. I almost accidentally no, dude, stop. No. I hate that. I hate that about chat. Like, you click on chat, the first thing it's like, report, block. Why? Can like we have at least one more layer to go through before that could accidentally happen? I don't want anybody blocked or reported. All right. Yes, cat hair and chicken wings, bad bedfellows. Yeah, it's not the best topping. I wouldn't suggest it. Dino or Dino? Which one? Tell me. I think it's Dino. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's Dino, not Dino. Phonetically correct me, my friend. All right. But anyway, I'm very hyped. I'm very happy about the fact that I have 3 days off. Happy Veterans Day. As always, thank you to all our veterans. A lot of my friends are ex-military, so I do have a very high level of appreciation for those in service. Whether I support the war or not that they are in, I always support them and what they do and the life that they put on the line. I gotta sleep, German brother. See you. All right, Striker man. Have a good sleep, man. Sorry we went missing for so long with the Discord. I apologize for that, man. I hope everything's going good for you. All right. What are we gonna do here? I need something to drink. Either is fine. Okay, great. Do you know it is? Unless you change your avatar to a dinosaur, in which case it's gonna be Dino. Let me grab some Crystal Light because I believe in me, and then I'll be right back. I swear to God, if you try to touch my wings, you're gonna need wings. They're gonna have to be angel wings because you'll be dead. All right. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, sir. No, I see you looking at him. No, thank you, sir. I love you very much, but not enough to share my wings with you. Actually, it would hurt you more than anything. Yes, it would. You would get very sick. Not to mention your mouth would be on fire, dude. You could not handle that level. All right, you gonna stay up there? Good boy. All right. Cold winds. 3 days off here too. Woohoo! Yeah, dude. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, exactly. Salute our vets, as always, man. I got nothing but appreciation for those who are in service to our country. All right. As for the election, people have been bothered. They're like, "Are you upset Trump won?" Dude, I don't care, man. My my resolution to not trust any politician continues no matter who would have won. I don't think people are like so worried about the country going haywire. I don't think you're going to see a big change in a lot of stuff. If there is any change, God, I hope it's for our economy. I hope it's for our economy and those trying to buy houses, man. I have nothing but sympathy for those attempting to purchase a house or, just anything for like their job. No matter what you're working, I think you deserve more pay. All right, give me a second here, guys. I'm like caught up. I'm trying to like not let my headphone wire dip into my hot wings. I hope you don't mind watching my mukbang over here. As far as the comic goes, something I'm about to do is scan in a bunch of security envelopes with interesting. Ah, ah. Do you know this is crazy? I don't. Did I already tell you about this, Timothy? You can actually go to like arts and crafts stores in Japan, and there's carbon sheets you can buy with the stuff that you use, like the different stuff. Hey, John, what's up, man? Long time no see, John. Um, so the stuff that you use, the envelopes and everything, you can buy carbon sheets of that. Maybe you want to go on Amazon and check if that's what I mean, you're getting it for free, so maybe you don't. And you literally just like go over it with pencil and stuff, and it puts all the shading down for you. Buying a house will be me in the near future. Well, Dino, man, I wish you the best of luck, man. Hey, interest rates are really good right now, so if you're buying soon, I wish you the best. I just refinanced my whole house. I just finished last week. I'm so, so happy to be done with that. I dropped my interest rate from 8.5 down to 6%, dude. I'm saving like $400 every month. So I'm super stoked. Damn, John. Look at you, Mr. $500,000 house owner. I've done nothing to my house. The neighborhood is over. Yeah, I understand, John. I bought mine for 210. It's only been about a year. No, it's been 7 months. Probably we're going on 8 months now. And it's already worth like what, $250,000. It's like what the hell? I've done some touch-ups and stuff like that. I had it repaired. I had the undercrawl repaired, but that was because of you guys. You guys helped me finance that. And I can't thank you enough. Yeah. A 1,000-gallon pond, a waterfall creek bed, a hot tub deck. Damn, John. When's MTV Cribs coming to your house? Nice. Well, shoot, when you take the YouTube video, don't let the Lambo cover up the pond in the back. Shoot, I should have. Hey, Maki, can I ask you a favor? Can you bring that tray of sushi stuff down here so I can drop my wings into it? I forgot to bring something to drop bones into. You just give it to me here. I'm not gonna pick it back up and eat it. That'd be nasty as hell, dude. Oh god. All right. I know what halftone sheets you're talking about. I'm going to save that for either a friend that's there or going to myself because they wax you hard. Yeah, I bet you. Newen. Hi, Scott. Hope you've been well. Are the hot wings better where you are or back? Are you joking? American hot wings are like a billion times better than. Yeah, have you ever seen like what wings look like in Japan? I don't know where they get them from, but it's from half-starved chickens because they are the tiniest ass wings you've ever seen, man. You know, they always say that a half-eaten chicken wing. Well, dude, they're like a quarter, like a three-fourths eaten chicken wing when you buy it in Japan, dude. It's like they are tiny, tiny. I don't know where the hell they get them. The Paranormal Review, dude. What's up, Hawk? No, this is my buddy from back when I used to play Sea of Thieves on like an obsessive level. Um, am I on any games? I am on New World. I haven't played it since the new update. Is there anything else I've been playing online recently? Man, get out of here. You guys have seen me recently. It's just been me playing Silent Hill 2. Probably 7 Days to Die. I jump on there once in a while. New World. I don't know, man. I kind of like. I feel so torn on that game. Like sometimes I play it and I'm like, this game's amazing, and then sometimes I play it, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this game? I had my son and I actually play Sea of Thieves together recently. We haven't played it in a while. I need to see how it is on the Steam Deck. I'd really like to see how it plays on that. Oh, but wait, that would be like with a controller. That wouldn't be so hot. We'll have to jump on there and play again soon, Hawk. I really miss. Those are some really good memories, dude. Like that was the best time ever. Nothing satisfying than making a stack of bones from ramen chick. Dude, chicken wings like this is like my favorite ever. Like I guess it's not really chicken wings, just like hot wings, legs. I don't know. I already bought the hot ones and then I poured a bunch of hot sauce all over it. Yeah, dude, we gotta chill sometime. I want to catch up with you, dude, and just see how things have been going. Also, I know you've been talking about trying to hit up Japan at some point. I want to somewhat be able to help you guide through that as well. Yeah, I definitely want to jump back on there sometime, dude. It was such a good time, man. Those are such good memories. I've never had such a good time. Hey, non-winner, what's up, dude? How's the music going, non-winner? Hawk, I think sometime during like this upcoming Thanksgiving break, I'll be able to do it. I got like a week off for that. Sorry for the chomping sounds. I know it might be a little bit gross, but I haven't eaten all day, and I need protein. Recently, I've gotten big back into like working out again, and as you can see, I'm eating a workout meal. Um, haven't done much today on the music stuff. That's okay. That's pretty cool though. Like, so your son's like into the hot stuff. My son too. He can eat some pretty spicy stuff. Like, it doesn't really affect him. He can eat it. I think you can eat it just as spicy as I put it, right, Maki? You can eat almost as spicy a food as I eat, right? Maybe, yeah. I think the only thing that kind of hits them a little bit too hard is the death sauce. I think you have to be like old and somewhat numb to eat like the purple bottle of death sauce. Even for me, I can only put like a drop or two of that stuff on. What am I drinking? It's always Crystal Light, man. Nothing that exciting. I'm really big about not taking in liquid calories, so I always drink like Crystal Light or Gatorade or 0 calorie soda. I try to stay away from 0 calorie soda though, because it's probably better just to drink the sugar stuff. You like spicy food, but you can't go crazy hot. Wait until you're an old, haggard man like me, and then you'll be able to handle it. He likes chili pepper in his ramen. Oh, that sounds so good. In Japan, there's a place called Ichi Ramen, and like you have a sheet that you fill out before they give you the ramen, and it goes level. Isn't it all the way up to 20? Right, Maki? The Ichi Ramen, you can go from level 1 to 20, right? Level 1 to 20, right? The Ichi Ramen for spicy. God, I went up to level 10 one time. Well, it says 1 to 10, and then there's like a parentheses that says if you want to go 11 to 20, it'll actually cost you more money. Like, so for free, you can go level 1 to 10, but they have to use so much. What makes it spicy? Do they put chili sauce in there? What is it? What is the spicy stuff they add? Do you know what that sauce is called? Mak mak. What is the spicy sauce they add in ramen? Do you know what it's? Yeah. Whoa, say it again. Kogarashi. Oh, I don't even know what that is. Excuse me. All right. Chili pepper ramen. Yeah, so you can go insane. Like I went up to 10, and 10 hits you so hard that it's like a little bit difficult to taste the ramen. Your mouth gets so blown out with like how fiery it is. So I'll probably never go to 20. But they also have a place there called Soup Curry. That's the name of it. And like that one, that has spice levels that are just like, it's kind of funny because the spice levels, they like relate to different levels of like Nirvana. And I think I hit level 7 on there, and I was just like, holy crap. It's such good like soup ramen though. Wasabi on toast. Okay, you know what he should try? Try wasabi on steak sometime. You'll be surprised how much it changes the flavor, like in a good way. The first time I ever did that was in Hokkaido. And if you ever get a chance, try white wasabi too. White wasabi is like it's got a more maximized flavor. Green is actually means it's been dyed. So some of the flavor's gone because they've actually replaced some of it with dye. Oh, he does put wasabi on steak. Well, your son sounds like a smart person. Nguyen, I had an Ichi ramen at my local shopping center in Australia. Best ramen. Yeah, it's amazing ramen, right? Hey, Alejandro, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Man, always happy to see the regulars here. Oh yeah, so just so you guys know, those of you who are members, you're still members. The only problem I will have is like I can't do a members video because there's no way to like section it off as a members video. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna just do. I'm still gonna do 2 videos probably this weekend, and I'll let the members video be kind of like a peekaboo, hey, let's see type of video for those who have been thinking about whether or not they want to become members. I'm also very much so considering switching memberships over to Patreon because I don't know if you guys heard, but YouTube is now taking 60% of everything we make as far as memberships are concerned, which is just like insanity. I think Patreon only takes like 10%. Jonah, welcome. All right. Eating some chicken wings. Yes, very much so eating chicken wings. I've been craving this all week. My son, I bought him a bunch of salmon sushi. That's what he's always craving. And for me, it's always hot wings. I'm a huge hot wings fan. I think, isn't Jonah Inconspicuous Rat? I believe so. Didn't I send you $50 to Patreon? I believe so. I believe so. And I do appreciate that, John. You rock. Yeah, see, I was right. Dude, I'm remembering everybody. Nuno, what's up? Oh, and Jonah with the Discord link. Guys, just a reminder, Discord is now open to all viewers, okay? So please hop on, join, discuss. We've got some good stuff going there. We got movie night going on there. We got an art board for you to share your art. We do want to see what you got. And that includes like music and stuff too. If you make music like Non-Winner does, please share. It's still kind of a new community. It's only been around for like maybe a month or two now. Maybe we're going on 2 months. So we're really trying to grow it. We're trying to get to know viewers better, and we're trying to make viewers more than just viewers, but friends. If you start to jump onto the live streams a lot, you're going to notice we're more of a friend group here. We're not really viewers and content creator and viewers, which, brother, content creator. I'm just a guy who yaps a lot when I turn on the camera. I missed the last part of that movie because my computer died. Oh, no, that sucks. I'm sorry, man. We should have a wake or something for your computer. Yeah. Dude, John, thank you, man. That's really nice, dude. And yeah, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I do some Japanese stuff once in a while I lived in Japan, but since I came back to America, like, you know, obviously I've been missing a lot of the art, a lot of the style. It's rare to ever see around here. I guess you're kind of like saturated by it when you're in Japan. So I was just kind of like, well, I'll just make my own. And I realized I'm like, damn, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at this. So I just kept diving in more and more. And like, I give out a lot of it as gifts and stuff. And people love it. They're like absolutely love it. And I'm just like, damn, I should have like started doing this style of art to begin with. And it's kind of, the thing I like about it is even though it is Japanese and I take some of their ideas such as yokai and stuff like that, it's always my Western spin on it. So it's kind of no, not a juxtaposition. That's not the right one. A amalgamation. Ooh, I like that word. I'm gonna throw that one in there. An amalgamation of two different genres, of two different cultures, melding together in order to gel in a bed of creativity. Did I make it sound more hoity-toity than it really is? This stream with friends is brought to you by HelloFresh. Yeah, definitely HelloFresh here. I don't think I've ever had a sponsor ever, like an actual sponsor. I think one time, a long time ago, a camping company tried to get me to do stuff, and I was like, what do I get from? And they're like, you can choose one thing off of our camping menu to get for free, and then that's how we'll sponsor the video. And I'm just kind of like, I never camp in Japan. Like I have gone camping, but like in Japan, but I was just like, no, sorry, it's just not like, you know, if I don't get to use it, if I don't get to like actually approve of it, I'm not gonna like use it. Be like, you guys should check out this camping gear that I never ever use. Like I can't. As far as morals are concerned, like it would have to be something I really stood behind. What are these? These are just Publix wings. I don't know if you have Publix in your area. There's just a grocery store, Publix. It's like Piggly Wiggly. Pokemon art. Nice, man. Like realistic Pokemon. I think that's a good idea. I did that. The reason I did that, I did like a Hokusai version of it, was my friend Dylan. He's extremely into Pokemon. He's a math teacher I work with at school. I'm trying to write my face. It's like reversed. I can't do it. He's a math teacher I work with at my school, and he's like one of those people that plays in all kinds of like championships and stuff like that for like the trading card game. And hey, Ahmed, what's up, man? Glad to see you on here again. And he showed me this one card of Gyarados that was done in Hokusai style. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Katsushi Hokusai is the guy who did the Great Wave. I'm sure you guys have all seen that piece of art. And he showed it to me like 2 different times, like because he was so excited. He's like, "Have you seen this?" And then like 2 weeks later, he's like, "Have you seen that?" I'm like, "Wow, Dylan really likes this card." So I chose like a starter set of Pokemon and did them in that style and gave it to him because he helped me out a ton during the hurricane. Like he kept, like pretty much Maki and I were like dying of heat, dying of thirst, like, and he kept bringing us stuff to help us out, and I was really appreciative. I kept trying to pay him back, and he wouldn't take any money. So like, all right, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna paint you some pictures. Take that. How dare you try to stop me from paying back a friend? What kind of friend? Wait, no, never mind. Chunky Deco. Yeah, look at that big old belly. He's like a cat and a half when he lays on the floor there, right? He's eyeing my wings. Hello, Deco. That's always hope. He's like, man, I hope Daddy drops something. Owning that space with his chunk. I hadn't heard this word chunk before I came back to America. I love that word, dude. Chunk. Puddle on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, dude. He's both 3-dimensional and 2-dimensional. I love him. He's such a nice little guy. We adopted him from it's called Kitty Town. That's what it's called. And they just pick up all kinds of strays and everything, give him a bunch of shots, chip them up, and like $20. And that was everything. That was like his like license, his little thingy on his neck, his chipped up, being neutered, and all kinds of stuff, dude. It's crazy cheap. He's 7 years old when I bought him. I'm getting close to 8 now. He lived on the street for 7 years. Grew up on the hard streets of Bradenton, right? Right, Deco? I know, Bubby. I can't give you this, dude. You would die if I gave you chicken. Can't imagine how badly that would affect your intestinal system. Hold on. I got a whole thing of paper towels next to me here. Borgy cat. Yeah, he's a Tremalfadorian. He both lives in the past and the future at the same time. When I stare at him, he's almost like a centipede. All right. Let me get this. He's had a bunch of snacks already tonight too, man. What a greedy boy. He's got a full bowl of food, and I usually give him 2 snacks on Friday night because I feel like, oh, if I'm gonna celebrate on Friday night, you get to celebrate too. And then we had some my neighbors came over and like they really like the cat, so I was like, all right, here you guys can give him some snacks so that he warms up to you. And so I let them give him some snacks too. So he's already had like a bunch of snacks. What's wrong, Maki? You okay? Okay. Brighton? No. Bradenton. I don't know if there is a Brighton in Florida. There probably is a Brighton somewhere in Florida. My favorite city name in Florida is a city called Yeehaw Junction. I'll never get over how extremely redneck that name of the city is. Yeehaw Junction. Which sounds both gritty and urban and absolutely decimated countryside as well. The only thing they ever had to offer there in Yeehaw Junction was a tiny little like breakfast nook that was like their most famous thing, and a semi-truck plowed into it and destroyed it. And that's it. That's the end of like all the places that stick out in Yeehaw Junction. More snacks for Deco. Hey, Rogelio, what's up, bud? Rogelio, you've been on before. I think I remember that name. So how's everybody's week going? All right. It's been an insane week. I know, with the election and everything like that. I've had some friends upset, and I've had other friends that are celebrating. As always, I stay neutral. I distrust all politicians equally. No matter who would have won, I still wouldn't have trusted them. So My loyalty to distrust continues. They're pretty good. Here, I'll give you. You can vicariously take a bite right now. It's like chomp into your computer screen. Flow ride. Wait, I've never heard of this place. Flow Ride? Is that an actual real place? I know the rapper Flow Rider, like the most amazing name ever. He's from Florida and he made up that name from just using the word Florida. He made up the name Flow Rider, which is like just I mean, it's genius. Bubby, you don't go into the trash and try to eat out of the trash, bud. No, thank you, sir. I helped a friend move to Brighton, Florida. I'm an Ohioan, so I'm not super familiar. There is probably a Brighton, Florida. Hey, get out of there. No, thank you, sir. Trying to dig in the trash? You're not that kind of cat anymore. I'm still in the United States military. I must maintain a political stance. Well, happy Veterans Day, John. All right. We all appreciate what you do. Thank you for your service. A week that made me weak. Yeah, it's been a crazy week, right, man? Ha. Oh, you meant the rapper Flow. Okay, I was like, wait, there's a place called Flow Ride? Um, Dub man, you're not that kind of cat. Hey! Yeah, I mean, he was a stray before, right? So he probably got all his food from the trash. Bubby. No, thank you, sir. Please don't dig into the trash for my food. I know you're smelling chicken and saying, oh, Deco like chicken, Daddy. Did you know that? Deco like chicken. No, sir. Please don't do this. Hey, Deco. Please, sir. Um, yeah, I understand, John. Like working in the school system, I think any of you who like work in any kind of government related job, I'm sure you feel like don't ask, don't tell. uh, I don't know. I mean, no matter what happens, I'm proud to be an American. I know people like to trash talk us, um, but I think a lot of countries that trash talk us hate us because they ain't us, right, guys? Um, you got to stand true for America. Like, you gotta you know, I don't know how much people understand how much they should appreciate living in America. I don't think until you live abroad you understand like how good we have it here. My only hope, and please realize I'm not saying like this is me 100% supporting Trump or anything like that. My only hope is that this decision, this new presidency stops America from giving away so much money to other countries. Maybe, just maybe, we can spend it on us here in America. That's my main hope. Um, but of course, I have worries. Um, I don't like how it affects women's rights, how it might be affecting, especially with the entire all of Congress now being GOP. I worry about women's rights. I guess on the plus side, maybe we'll deal with less games becoming woke garbage. Sorry, but like no matter how left leaning I am, I still think games shouldn't be like woke garbage. And my God, with Dragon Age Veilguard, I can't tell you how disappointed I am to see that game become such trash. It's not even that it's woke garbage, it's just like bad writing in general. It's just trash. Yeah, exactly. Like, right? Like, I mean, your whole family's here, so you love America. It makes sense, man. I mean, like, no matter, I totally get it's fine for people to be upset with America or be angry at things America does. That completely makes sense. But to outright accuse every American of standing behind every choice America makes, I think is bullshit. Um, to look at every American and think we like 100% stand behind anything our government does, I think is bullshit, no matter if they're right leaning or left leaning. I don't think Americans should be judged by what the country does in general. And I think in general, this is just my personal opinion, Americans, for the most part, are good people who help their fellow neighbor. Um, do we have gun violence? Do we have crime? Do we have people unjustly, hurt by our own police and stuff like that? Yeah. But guess what? Every country does. Like, there's no country that's like 100% innocent. I will say there's some countries with way less crime, like Japan, of course. But do you think there's no like unnecessary police violence in Japan? No. There's been people who've been like, killed by the police due to being too harsh. There's many stories of gaijin who've like been killed while waiting in immigration jails to be deported from Japan. There's like two different people. One Saudi Arabian guy who was put, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but like there's these like kind of tridents they use to like pin you against the wall to like stop you from being violent. And apparently they pinned this guy against the wall so hard with one of those, it like made him have a heart attack from like cutting off his like blood or air or oxygen or whatever. And there was another one where it was, I can't remember which country she was from. I want to say Vietnam, and she had overstayed her visa and they locked her away in a jail, one of these airport jails where they like just wait till the plane that's going to deliver them back to their country comes to deport them. And she was complaining of some kind of stomach problem or something like that. And she had something like what do you call that? Where I want to say gallbladder, your appendix bursts. And she died from that. She was like complaining of severe pain. And like, they're like, yeah, whatever. You just want to get out of jail. And she's like, no, like curled up, doubled over on the floor, like in the fetal position in bad pain. And she died from a burst appendix. And, I consider that police brutality. They're still a human being no matter what they've done. Games are art and should be as such. Yeah. Games, my big thing is games should be escapism, all right? Like, look, gay, trans, LGBTQ plus, all that stuff, be whatever you want, dude. I don't fucking care, like, at all. But I don't want to hear a game preaching to me about that stuff in the same way I don't want a game having like a Trump flag in it. You know what I mean? Like this Dragon Age Veilguard stuff, like preaching to the players about like, you've chosen to be racially diverse or like you've helped supported trans rights. Like these are literally like things that pop up on the screen. It's like, I don't want that. And I don't want like, you've entered Trump Nation and there's like a Trump flag. Like I don't want to see either side of political bullshit in my game. You know what I mean? Same with like Helldivers too. They're like complain that there's not LGBTQ plus flags in it. And it's just like, I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see like a Trump flag. I don't even want to see an American flag in the game. Like it's a fantasy. I want to be in a fantasy. Like fuck real world anything. I don't want it in my game. I want to be immersed in the fantasy, please. The only game I'd say that kind of can get away with that because it can actually make it like feel a little bit better is like, what do you call it? Cyberpunk 2077. Like they have ways of injecting politics into that game where I felt like, yeah, this totally makes sense. Like, I love when they add that. So, because it is kind of based on real world to begin with. So, totally agree. It's away from this world. Yeah, dude, this is the only thing. Like, don't. Yeah. Bro, trust me, if I didn't have video games as a route of escapism, I would have lost my mind years ago. It was like an extra life for a troubled kid. Wish I could make more time for it now. Yes, Ikram, this is what I'm talking about. Like, when I jump into a game, I want to be in that world. And I want my own world to just disappear for a little bit. Yeah, that's why it's called escapism. You're literally escaping the isms of the world, like, right? So I don't want any kind of like preaching to me about anything. A lot of old history was so bad, people pissed off and did America. Yeah, I mean, dude, America's totally fucked up in the past. Like, there's so much bad shit that they've done. And people can be upset about that, but like, it's just the same thing as like, do we not get a chance to like heal ever? Do we not get a chance to be like, yo? I mean, at least we're a country that comes out and just says like, yo, that was fucked up what we did. You know what I mean? Like, well, we've definitely said like the atomic bomb is atrocious. I can't believe we like did that. Whereas like, there's some other countries that just completely refuse to ever do, any kind of apology for anything that they've done. China, like they just kind of ignore it. They're just kind of like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Probably that's like fake news. Um, you know what I mean? Like I will say no matter what, like the good thing about America is the country's always been able to be introspective about itself, look back on like some of the history we've had and be like, yeah, that was fucked. I can't believe we've done that in the past. Let's continue to progress and grow and become better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so cyberpunk storylines usually involve politics of some kind with the world building. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, like they tackle like LGBTQ plus stuff, and the way they do is very inventive and quite frankly very interesting. And I want to learn more about that, like the way that they're like integrating transhumanism, which doesn't really actually have anything to do with trans people. It's like literally replacing parts of yourself with robot parts. And like that's amazing. Like even like the romance and everything that you can do in the games, like the fact that they make it go any which way, it's the same as like Baldur's Gate too. Baldur's Gate tackled that stuff in the best way possible. It was like, dude, you want to totally go down that path? Do it. You don't want that to be any part of the game? Do it. Like, leave it optional to give you as many paths to, diversify the game as possible, but don't make it like a forced lesson about like, you need to respect this. If you don't, you're a big baddie. Like, I don't want to be beaten over the head by your like political views. Man, what is going on with the camera tonight? Why does it keep like having this trouble focusing? And like you notice it keeps like going blur every once in a while. What's going on? Hold on, let me just check what's going on with this thing. Properties. Configure video. Camera control, low light compensation. If we don't do that, what happens? Does it change it at all? I think it looks okay even with low light compensation. I don't think you need to do that. Let's do default and see what happens. Apply. Will that help it at all? I pushed it back to default setting. What is going on with it? It feels like, is it like just when I tap the desk? I do have like a new setup coming soon. Well, I mean, I don't mean like buying anything new. I mean, the way I'm going to set it up will be new. I'm trying for the most part to save everything that was given to me via GoFundMe aside from when I'm actually repairing the house. And I still got a lot of repairs left. So that's any extra money I get, that's all it's going to. I still got thousands and thousands of dollars of damage I need to get fixed up. But our house is very livable. I need to be thankful for that. I think that's kind of like where, and like, look, I'm not like trying to bash either side here. Looking back on it now, I think one of the biggest problems on why Kamala and the Democrats in general didn't win, I was looking back on all of it, just like reflecting on it, and I felt like, they didn't really use multimedia at all. I think the one thing that really killed them too is like, and I hate to give credit to any politician, but Trump working the jobs like at McDonald's and stuff like that. I mean, I think the Democrats could have taken a lesson from that, like putting themselves into like all sorts of like blue collar, low wage, or, not saying blue collar is low wage, because quite frankly, plumbers and electricians make a hell of a lot more than I do. Um, but putting themselves in those spots and being seen in those spots, and like, look, I get it. It's all publicity. I doubt he had a very hard time working McDonald's. Um, but saying that you would accept the terms and work with what people have to go through in those jobs, um, I think that's a really good look. On top of it, why the hell did they not try to get on any podcast whatsoever? I mean, like, whoever is in charge of PR or like their publisher or whatever, like, failed them miserably. At the same time, like, the state Biden was in by the end, it was just like, could you even explain to him what a podcast is? Like, I don't know. Like, but Kamala, like, she understands how all this works. Why didn't they try to like focus more on like reaching a larger audience via things like, major popular podcasts, or like, like just any kind of footage coverage or anything that lets them get more multimedia out there. They really they need to think about that next time. Oh, the Palestine issue. Dude. Like, look, I'm not taking any side on Palestine and any of that stuff going on there. Quite frankly, I would need to research it a hell of a lot more before I even dropped any sort of opinion. My only opinion is, why the hell do we keep sending money overseas when we can't take care of ourselves? Like, why the hell are we allowing people to, um, take a lot of the stuff we have out there, who are immigrants? And like, look, I'm totally pro immigration. Like, come out, immigrate. It's fucking totally good. Like, I think it can benefit America a ton. But like, why are we like pouring people into places that are already like overly crowded and cramped for services provided to the homeless, and then filling those services up with immigrants who like just literally got here? Um, and like, I totally understand the safe harbor law and stuff, like how that works. And it's just like, why did you, why did you accept all this stuff? Like, why did you let these busloads of people show up? Like, I realize you were screwed over by Texas sending them out there, but like, send them back. Like, you couldn't do that. You can be like, yo, we're not gonna take, no way, dude, we're not taking this. Um, on top of it, like, I mean, I don't think Trump did shit or anything to help any of the hurricane stuff. I mean, maybe he did. If he did, I don't know about it. But like, Kamala and Biden sure as hell didn't do shit. Like, they did, like, I didn't see anybody going out to North Carolina or Florida or anything. Like, I felt like that was completely ignored because the whole campaign overtook any of that. So, I mean, any support she could have in Florida was like long gone. Eh, anyway, I'm getting too political anyway. I shouldn't. Um, I love you. I love you no matter if you're Democrat or Republican or in between, if you're a fence sitter, if you're non-party affiliated. I love you. I love you as an audience. Like, I'm never going to judge anybody by what their political beliefs are, just like I'm not going to judge anybody for what their religious beliefs are, or non-existent religious beliefs. Same with politics too. If you totally hate politics and don't want to support anything, bro, I'm right there with you. Um, Even like online gaming, I prefer solo play. I don't want memes in my games, please. Just Easter eggs of myth beyond. Yeah, dumb man, dude, you sound. That's crazy, dude. That's me too. Like when I play like an online game, like even an MMO, I almost always like solo it and stuff. Unless there's been times where like just one little party is like, hey, we really need this. We need like a healer or a DPS or something. And they pull me in, and somehow they become like the most amazing people I've ever met, and then I've been like friends with them for life. Um, it does happen, but I used to sink into things like Final Fantasy and Fable, but I don't play much these days. Yeah, non-winner, I hear you. It is harder, isn't it? It feels like way harder to sink into a game like that. Like, that feeling when like a game is so good, you sink into the world, and not only is it so good that like you enjoy it while you play, but it's so good that when you're not playing, all you're thinking about is getting back to playing it. That's when a game is mwah. God, I wish I could have games like that again. I do kind of feel like that right now with Silent Hill too. Like I am missing it every time I don't play it. I actually feel guilty if I don't play it too sometimes. Doing my weightlifting while chatting, and holy crap, your arms are noodles. Have you ever seen these pregnant worms? My arms will never gain muscle no matter how much I lift, dude. I can never, because I have like really, really like long arms. So the longer your arms are, the harder it is to make it look like you have any kind of muscle. That's me flexing my muscle it's like so minuscule. I'll never have any kind of muscle in my arm. I hate it. No matter how much I lift. Yeah. Wait, it went down too fast. In that situation, I'd say that neither side is right for what they're up to. Yes, Jonah, yes. Neither side is right. If innocent people are dying, you suck. And both people are killing innocent people, so they both suck. But Israel has been really screwing with this stuff since, yeah, it's been going on for ages, I know. But they like that's their thing though. Like if they want to have this crazy shit continue to go on and on and on, why the fuck are we getting involved? Like I don't get it. Like Geographer Matt, what's up, dude? Welcome back. I'm glad to see you become kind of a regular now, Geographer Matt. Very happy. Teacher got game. Well, are you a fellow teacher? Did you give your opinion or the election? Or yeah, I kind of did. You're turning out of politics. Yeah, dude. I hear you. I hear you. For the most part, you'll notice I don't ever get very political. In general, I'm more left leaning, but I don't like seeing politics get entered into my multimedia. Like I don't like it pushed into like movies. I can kind of understand because the entire movie could be political based, but for the most part, video games, no, thank you. I don't want to see any of it. Healing in MMOs scares me. Oh, Dino, dude, I know. I've never played a healer before. Like I don't want to be held responsible. Okay, there's two roles I'll never play. I'll never play the tank, and I'll never play the healer. I am almost 100% of the time DPS. And if there's a necromancer, I'm probably the necromancer. I'm glad that we're at a time where we do have more diverse characters in our media, but I do agree that it's really cringe when they do on the nose left lean. Yeah. Exactly. Tim, that you've nailed it. I want to see like anything and everything as a character, and I want to be able to play anything and everything as a character. And put everything progressive you want into the game. But if, God forbid, you try to force it down my throat, you've lost me. It's the same thing. Like if there was like extremely hardcore right-leaning stuff in the game that like tried to be forced down my throat, I'd be like, fuck off with this. I don't want to listen to it. Like I don't want to see either side of politics forced down my throat when I'm trying to escape to a fantasy world. Toxic Holocaust War is hell. Toxic Holocaust War is hell sounds like a great death metal band. An ESL teacher. I learned about Jet from you and lived in Japan, dude. Nice, a fellow teacher. Can I ask what kind of teacher you are? Is that okay? Wait, do you mean like you're an ESL teacher now back in America? Are you like ESE or ESOL only? So good. Yeah. Dude, hold on. Let me go back. This is such a great comment. You are right, Scott. I feel like politics killed Forspoken, which wasn't a game, but people just love to hate it. But they lift up Stellar Blade because yeah. Dude, I think Forspoken actually could have been like a freaking amazing game. I think what really killed Forspoken was incredibly bad writing. And if the writing was bad, the dialogue was like insane cringe. Like who wrote that? The Forspoken dialogue is like a 50-year-old man tried to imagine what a young like early 20 something or like a young teen would say in today's world, like how they imagine a younger generation would speak. They're like, oh, they say things like cool and riz and like I don't know, skibbity. I've heard a skibbity toilet something and a sigma. That's how the kids talk now. And it's like these things exist. Like these are actually like new lingo and slang and stuff like that. But people's entire dialogue do not consist of these things. Like if they were put into a frightening situation, for the most part, their dialogue and speech would return to um, emitting a sense of emergency and urgency. They would not be like, yo, how can I say as many cuss words and slang words as possible while talking about new powers? It's oh God, whoever wrote that? Like, I don't care that it's a black female character for Forspoken. I think that's great. Whatever. Who cares who you're playing? If that character's written well, it's amazing. All right. Um, how many games have you played where like the character is something totally different from what you are, and you don't care because you're just loving the story, right? Like there's oh God, you can play as a black female woman in Resident Evil 5, and it's still a great game because it's a good story. It's not the best Resident Evil, let's put it that way, but it's still a crazy good story. Like no one ever complained about like, God, why do I have to play as this character? It's so lame. Like because and like she didn't talk crazy either. She sounded like an actual like I don't know what is like a merc. What would you call whatever stars are? The stars agents from those. But like no one complained about the speech in that game. No one was, and there's a part where Leon or whoever is it Leon? He plays Leon for the other character, whatever. He has to do like a backflip to escape chainsaws. So I mean, like it's a crazy, wacky, action-packed game, but no one ever complained about like, God, what is this dialogue? What the hell? Happy to be a part of the stream. Been a long time viewer since I was in middle school. Now graduated from college 2 years ago with a full-time job. Look, wow, 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 wow. Looking forward to finally. Oh, nice, Matt. You're about to head to Japan. Have you? What area are you considering? I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, like a teacher got game. I wanted to finish what you had said here because I really love like what you've stated here. Like you've almost completely cemented a paragraph that really delivers what my mind thinks as far as games are concerned. That you said like I feel like politics killed Forspoken, which wasn't a game, but people just love to hate it. Yeah, it wasn't a bad game, right? It wasn't like a super bad game, right? Like I think the actual idea, like I liked some of the ideas they came up with were like you can change like your nails, I think it was, to like change the magic power and stuff like that. Like there was like customization aspects and stuff. Like you change your shoes and it gives you different dashing powers and stuff like that. Like I mean, even some of the creature concepts and stuff, like they looked freaking amazing. Like they looked so awesome. Like they were literally like kind of Dark Souls level as far as like whoever designed those. But like the dialogue, like what was going on with that dialogue? And then Stellar Blade, they liked it because it was anti-censorship. And like again, same thing, credible monster designs. You got a sexy lady, and people loved it because they just were like, well, we're just gonna come out with this game. We don't really care about like censoring a bunch of stuff, right? Like from the Korean perspective, the company that made it, they're just like, why would we censor like how beautiful this lady is? Like that doesn't really make any sense. And they delivered on it. It's got incredible action. I don't think if she does talk, for the most part, when she does talk, it's not like a constantly dialogue heavy game, but it like completely puts her speech and what she talks about and the lingo she uses is only connected to that world that she's in. So it's like a lot of tech talk and like discussing like strategies and stuff like that. It's not this really weird what we imagine kids talk like slang that the writers of Forspoken, I feel like whoever wrote the dialogue for that game, I feel like they maybe lived their entire life online. Like they've very rarely gone out and had real conversations with living people because it was just like it was written by like some sort of, I don't know, acid trip of what a 50-year-old executive would imagine kids talk like today. Like it's just such gobbledygook garbage slang. Like you're just like, who? No one says anything like this. Like I think the wristband was kind of okay. Like whoever Cuff, isn't that his name? Like the dialogue for him seemed to be okay, but what they came up for the main character, dude, you're just like, what is going on? Like, why did they make her use the most cringe? And I hate to use that word cringe, but there's really no other way to define how she spoke in that game. Cool character design, cool monster designs. I feel like the setting was a little bit barren at times. It did look like some of the cities and like outside areas kind of looked a little bit rushed, especially at the cities. I felt like they felt like almost too plain. But yeah, the whole, just what a dumb story, what a dumb dialogue. Like, why? Why did they ruin it with that? Ugh. Now in tabletops, I can play a healer. I play a druid. Oh, yeah. TTRPGs? Well, that's crazy. Do you know that's so weird? Like, you're scared to play one in an MMO, but you play one in TTRPGs. That's me too. That's so weird. Like, I almost always play that character. I actually not only usually play that because I like it, but number one, because often people refuse to play the healer. Like, a party's always desperate for a healer. And then number two, I actually try to play as anti-violent as I can as a TTRPG player because I feel like it challenges the role-playing aspects of those games more. And that's honestly why I lean more towards the healing one. They are black and thrash. Nice. I'm an ESL teacher in America. Oh, okay. But I started teaching in Jet. I learned about Jet from you years ago. Well, first of all, thank you for being a longtime viewer, Teacher Gat Game. Second of all, great way of expressing your opinions. Where again, like, I don't know if you're like me, but like I'm really left leaning. Like I like leftist viewpoints and stuff like that. I'm very liberal minded and stuff like that, especially having been like an art major. But I don't want to see that shit in my games. So you're doing ESL? That's crazy. Teacher Got Game. I just finished my ESOL college class for my certificate here in Florida. So I am now far more learned when it comes to ELLs and the multiple levels. I've learned about the Sylph concept. I've learned about what is the one called? Like, oh god, I should remember it. I just memorized a lot of stuff for this. Bix and claps, isn't that the two separations? And well, anyway, you learn never to assume proficiency, which was the main. I actually aced that class. I did really well, so I was very happy. And actually, what helped me the best is I could use all my examples from Japan. I could be like, well, when I ran into a student who was dealing with the fact that they had zero English whatsoever, a concept that came to mind immediately was the ability to be able to draw anything I was trying to explain. So that was very helpful. I feel like the whole world is autistic now or some shit. Yeah, I don't know if that's the most pleasant way to say it, but dumb man, I hear you. I hear you, bro. I'm usually somewhat bad at doing RP on tabletops outside of healers. I usually just play a half orc fighter with low. I don't know, Jonah. The fact that like you feel like your role playing isn't good enough, so you choose a low IQ character who doesn't have to express itself as much makes me think that you might actually be a pretty good role player. I think some of the best role players are people who understand their skill level or how much they want to put into role playing and choose a character to match that. I can't tell you how many times I've played a game where as soon as the game starts, they're like, hey, just so you know, I'm going to be the leader. I'm going to be the leader of this group. And everyone's like, okay, all right, okay, all right. And then they choose like, I had one where it was like, last time I had this happen was the Star Trek RPG tabletop role playing game. And the guy chose to be the captain of our ship and could not role play at all. It's like, why did you choose this? Why weren't you just like a red shirt in the background? All right, hold on a second. I got to stand up, guys. I'm about to fucking conk out, dude. Ugh. Ah. Okay, let me go ahead and tilt this back up. Oh no. Why meow? Yeah, actually, I mean, that sounds like you know what you're doing, Jonah. It sounds like you're like, all right, this is the amount I can put into it. I'll be a character that allows me to match that level of skill. Sounds like you actually know what you're talking about and that you are a good role player because you choose something you can role play. I think also, Jonah, I think the longer you play a game and the longer you play with the same group of friends, I think you'll find your role playing skills improve, not just because you're getting better at role playing, but I think being comfortable is an extremely important part of role playing. If you were to join a group of brand new people, like you've never met them before, no one's met anyone, you guys all sit down and they're like, all right, you need to like role play heavily when it comes to this game. You're still going to hold back a little bit because you don't know how you'll be judged by these people. Whereas if it's like a group of like old time friends, you guys have been around since kindergarten hanging out together, and you're like, oh, this is like the 10th game we've played in this campaign, I think you'd find your role playing skills exceed what you think you can do because you're so comfortable with these people. You know exactly like how much you can role play, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, well done, man! Like you're really acting like that character and stuff." Whereas I feel like the first time you join any new group, you're more hesitant to be more expressive with your role play because you almost feel embarrassed. I think that's a natural human emotion to feel when in the presence of new people. Ugh. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get RTTRPG going. So, did you guys see today what I posted for my picture for my artwork? That's part of my TTRPG. I'm probably. I think I eventually got to change the name. Maybe you guys can help me think of this at some point. It's called Infernal Dominion, but I feel like that's just too generic sounding. I don't know. Too. It doesn't. I'm not. There's something about it I'm not digging. The first name I ever came up with this series, I called it Sky Coffin, because pretty much it's like a planet that used to be like really flourishing until they like betrayed the god that like pretty much gave it life. And that god, his son, is literally buried in the earth, and he continues, well, not Earth, the planet. He continues to bombard them with all sorts of plagues and problems and monsters and everything so that he can crack the place back open and get his dead son's body back out and rejuvenate him and return him to part of himself, because it's kind of like the Trinity within Catholicism, God, the Holy Spirit, his son, they're all the same person. Um, and so the name of the game was Sky Coffin. And then I eventually changed it to Infernal Dominion because everything has become hell-like on this planet, as they continue to refuse to return the Son of God. Um, I'll eventually think of something better than that, though. Infernal Dominion sounds too. I don't like it. Something about it I don't like. Um, I'll figure it out eventually. Anyway, sorry. I heard something where someone said, "You're so skibbity." Probably my son. I swear to God, my son says skibbity, sigma, and all that stuff like about a million times a day. Bix and scalp, yeah. Yeah. Social English and academic English. Yes, see, I knew what I'm talking about. Me ESOL good. One day talk pretty about it. Um, that's all I played of TTRPGs. What was it? Sorry. Pico wrote the dialogue for Forspoken. Oh, that's why the cat gets saved before the money. Okay, makes sense now. I put Pathfinder, and I was a dwarf bard and dazzled in ogre or something. Non-winner. I think Pathfinder's a good one. I actually really like Pathfinder because they're pretty much what would happen if Dungeons and Dragons didn't get greedy and get owned by Hasbro, which is a piece of shit company. I think they would be called Pathfinder. That's what would happen to Dungeons and Dragons. Pathfinder's got some beautiful modules and expansions. There's so like Dungeons of Galarian. They actually have like a whole planetary system and stuff, and like mega dungeons that are just like sick as hell. The smartest thing that they've ever done with Pathfinder is, you know how I have like a million different types of elf races? Like you got elf and then 1,000 subclasses. They did that with humans too, which it's like finally, someone realizes there's more than one type of human, just like there's more than one type of elf. I enjoyed Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was like, oh, the character design in that, the monster design in that was just like next level. Was it amazing? No, but it was definitely a fun playthrough. That makes sense. I'm that kind of Resident Evil fan who installed the fan mod that put the 1996 voice acting. You almost became a Jill sandwich. That's. I love that stuff, dude. I love FMV in general. Like FMV games, like I love it. My druid has a bear animal companion. Nice. Sounds like you were doing it right. Still in the planning phase, but it needs to involve traveling on a bullet train to local trains and buses. I want to find the best coffee while traveling off the beaten path. All right, so Geographer Matt, the one thing you need to do, there's like some kind of, I'll have to ask my friend Brian, but he had some kind of app that located like all the nearest coffee shops and stuff like that. So he was able to find like all these like gourmet and like super hoity-toity, like not for the proletariat, but for the bourgeoisie when it came to, hey, no, sir, no, thank you. I'm sorry, but spicy, super hot wings for a kitty? No, thank you, sir. Bad news. I'll have to ask him what that app was, and I'll have to let you know. Vixen Scout, basically, yeah. I'm training to be a school administrator. You don't want to teach anymore. Brother, you and me both. I hear you. So what do you, teacher got game, what do you got to get? Like, do you have to get like a master's degree in some kind of like education administration or something like that? God, I want to do that too, man. My dream is to be like more in charge of like the marketing and stuff for my school instead of teaching. God, one day. I hear you though, teacher got game. I think you're headed down the right path. Like, don't get me wrong, love my students. I love the fact that I'm teaching art. Like, there's days where I just like, I count my blessings as far as getting to be an art teacher and do art all day. Um, but there is definitely days where I would like to go without a class full of screaming kids. Um, I'd like to have more than just a lunch period where I don't listen to kids' voices at level 100 decibels, like I saw that today. Awesome drawing. Thank you, Tim, man. I appreciate it, dude. Tell me what you think of this, Scott. The title of my Final Fantasy TTRPG is The Maiden of Cyril's March. I like that. Maiden of Cyril. Maiden. Maiden of the March of Cyril. I'm just trying to think, like, it might sound. I might take off the. That's the only thing maybe Maiden of Cyril's March. Hold on, let me think. Hold on. Maiden of Cyril's March. Yeah, Maiden of Cyril's March. I would just take maybe the off. That's it. And then you could even make like that would allow you to make a logo where it would be like MCM, and there's like so many design opportunities for MCM. I don't know. I don't like you sound like you have a pretty good idea already. I like Maiden of Cyril's March sounds. I mean, it sounds like a great title. Actually, let me grab my phone real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Where did I put my phone? Oh, there it is. Take the oh yeah. Uh I don't know, like oh, sorry, I had like a really long burp there. One of the best names I've ever heard. One of the best names I ever heard for the series of TTRPG was a game called Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and um, it used to be the at the beginning where it'd be called The Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and they took the off, and it sounded like a million times better. I felt like Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Like I felt like that was really good. I don't know. I could be wrong. Uh no, but Ikram, you would not be taking away jobs from Americans if you did that, dude. You know it's like 22,000 jobs vacant right now. No one would fight you. Like, I can look into it. I can talk to my principal about like what's involved. I'm not sure. Maybe at this point they might be so damn desperate that they would sponsor a visa or they could figure out how to do it. Let me ask my principal. I will, Ikram. I'll ask like what is the possibility of getting. I'm not saying I can get you a job at my school. I'm just saying I can look into the paperwork that's involved. If you did want to be an English teacher, there is already an opening at my school. So, I mean, you would, I can't get you in for sure with anything at my school, but I can at least find out what would be involved, what would be the red tape, and what's the best route? Would it be like going through public school, charter school, or private school? Oh, good. The smaller cafes are better for you, Dino? Okay, then you're gonna definitely want to use that app because that app goes for that. It's not about like how many Starbucks can I find within a 5 kilometer radius. I don't know why I had to talk about that in that voice, but whatever. You may find smaller coffee shops near where you stay. When I was in Ireland on a trip, there were some cafes in town. When I would visit, I always look for those smaller cafes. I've played Lamentations. It was pretty dope. Dude, Lamentations is sick. Dude, that guy is like a beast. The guy who writes for that. I think he's married to like a Swedish woman and lives in Sweden and like gets all this influence from their mythology out there and everything like that. He's an American dude who's like an expat out in Sweden and like the ideas he comes out with, like as far as like taking like old school Swedish lore and like infusing it into a D&D type medieval setting, it's good stuff. Thanks for the feedback. I do wonder if it's clear that it's a march that the Maiden of Cyril is on. Um, Maiden of Cyril's march. Yeah, I think yeah. Hold on. What was the full name again? Yeah, Maiden of Cyril's march. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, that's the first thing I would think. Like, I mean, as soon as you told me the title, I could. Yeah, Ikram, of course, man. Yeah, definitely. I'll look into it for you. Sure, dude. That's not. I can't promise anything, and I don't even know if she's gonna have a good answer, but I can at least take the time to just ask. The good thing with me is like my principal. She's my boss, but she's also like an amazing person who's just like, you know, I can talk to her like a friend. I feel like she's awesome, dude. So I'm very lucky in that sense. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, what am I at? Okay, so all right, so projects coming up and stuff like that. What do we got going on with the channel and stuff like that? Okay, so we've got our Discord starting to pop off a little bit. I'm noticing it's starting to get a little bit more active. It was kind of a dead land before when I left it members only, which I think was a bad choice to begin with. Not that I don't love my members and not that they weren't awesome to begin with, but it was just like one or two messages would pop up every couple of days, whereas we're starting to get like more feedback and stuff now as people join. And that's what we want to see. We want to see more interactivity. With the TTRPG, with getting one of those going, I think that would be a voice chat situation, of course. I'm not going to be like, well, let's play by text. What we are trying to think about on that is we're trying to research a little bit about what we should be using as far as software is concerned to, dictate how the game is playing out. Roll20 is the first go-to that we're considering, because it's free. You don't have to purchase anything. I will say one thing I would probably do with it, like they have a bunch of like, you can pay for this download and you can pay for this. That's how they make their money, is they sell you a bunch of props. I would probably hand draw and put pictures of what I was putting into the game myself, where I can just drop those in. So I wouldn't have to be paying for anything. And I think I would even do that for the players too. Oftentimes, I will ask players to give me pictures of what they think their character looks like. Like either number one, they just give me a bunch of art from other artists and kind of say it's like a combination of this, or I tell them, the best thing they can do is draw a picture themselves. And so I'm a horrible artist. I don't want to do that, Scott. Just try your best, man. I'll come up with something. And then usually I'll draw like a little mini, or I'll draw like avatar that's like a bust portrait pretty much, and use that to drop onto the map. That's probably what we're going to use. It's one of the most simple and kind of user-friendly type situations when it comes to TTRPGs online. The other thing is I want to try and get the movie night promoted a little bit more. And number 3 is I'm really, really hoping, I'm starting to get suggestions, which I love. Thank you very much for those of you who have dropped into Osoroshi Nights. That's another channel on there. It's all part of the same thing. And people have been suggesting different things they want me to look at and stuff like that. One thing I am trying to research, like I've got the next Osoroshi almost finished. It's been kind of a slow trudge. I ran into a couple problems with this one where I've been trying to convert it into a more grim take on how I deliver it. The first one was a little bit too happy-go-lucky, and with this one, I want to get a little more grim with how it's delivered. I want the atmosphere to be a little more grim and sort of that old school sort of Rod Sterling Twilight Zone sort of situation we had going before. I'm not going to be able to do it 100% like I used to, obviously. Just things have changed too much. I've changed too much over time. But I also want to be able to do that without getting crazy cringe with how I deliver it. I think there were some times. I mean, maybe you guys don't feel this way. I do. I feel like some of the older Osoroshis got a little bit cringy sometimes when I overdid it on the grim aspects, the sort of urban noir aspects. But I want to find that balance. I'm trying to get back to there. I need to re-record the intro again. I've already done it, and I tried doing it with like no face cam whatsoever, and it didn't feel right. Whereas I have the rest of the stories and everything, my face is not in it. I got this AI software to kind of like create these weird sort of almost nightmarish images and stuff like that. And I've been kind of struggling with that. Like, I know some people are very anti-AI. I'm not trying to replace it with actual art or drawn stuff. I'm using it to create videos that would be original stuff that I could show you. Sometimes it borders on almost being like too gruesome at times, so I got to be careful sometimes. I don't know. It's kind of really, you can actually push the gore level on some of that stuff. but it's still sort of a struggle to figure out what commands and stuff, like what you're trying to type in to match it. There's other ones I've borrowed some from channels where I asked first and I give them credit. I say, check out these channels. They already had some stuff programmed via AI and it looks amazing. And I said, I'm told them what I'm doing and they said, yeah, you can borrow it and stuff. Just give me credit. I'm hoping to get into more music I can add that won't get me into copyright territory. That's a bit of a beast to deal with all the time. The thing that pisses me off the most, and I don't know if any of you have ever tried to create your own video and done this, is there's so many lecherous creeps out on YouTube now that sometimes even when you don't use copyright material, people will still try to claim your stuff. Like I've literally had people try to claim the music from iMovies that's like literally included with iMovies for free that Apple said like, edit it in this program and use anything we've got. It's yours, free to use. And there'll be people who still, and like what happens is you argue it, of course, like you say like, this is mine, these people trying to claim it, it's not theirs. And YouTube almost always sides with you. I haven't had them fight it at all. But the problem you run into is it puts your video in escrow, which means they hold the money and don't deliver it to anybody until they decide who's not lying. And then when they do that, your video is not monetized. And when your videos are not monetized, like mine are right now, which sucks, you're pretty much booted out of the algorithm. Because number one, what kind of videos does YouTube want to promote first and foremost? Those making money for YouTube. So probably my views are really going to drop in the next few days. They're going to drop on my videos quite a bit because I cannot monetize them right now. When I do lose memberships, like when I do lose the fact that I can't do those while they're processing my W-9 tax form, you actually lose all AdSense and everything during that time. So for the next 2 weeks, my videos are going to be dead to the world. So any help I can get with that, please. I appreciate it. Like post it on Reddit or post it on wherever you think you can post it to help me out. I'd really appreciate it. No. Okay, Alejandra. Okay, I knew this question was going to come up. Am I using AI in my art videos? No. Okay, so I think there's two different types of AI creations that I like and dislike. I think if you make AI art and claim it as real art, like it's your own, I think that's bullshit. I'm going to be frank. Now, what you've seen is some of these weird AI videos that create their own video. Like we're talking like actual, looks like someone filmed a movie and something like that. That's what I'm using. I'm using the AI programs that you can program in to say like, I want to see someone walk through a hotel that's haunted. And then it creates sort of this weird, melty looking, not moving correctly video that like you can definitely tell is AI. So these are things like I'm not going to be able to shoot with what equipment I have with, my one actor, me. But I still want to get video that matches the stories I'm telling. That's the kind of AI I'm using. And, it's, I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like that's not people trying to replace real artists with AI garbage. I feel like some of these, like especially because this is about nightmares too. That's what the next video is about, is Japanese nightmares. I feel like that's one of the best things AI is good for right now, especially with the quality of video it makes. I don't know if you guys have watched any kind of AI made movie. Like they're always like short movies. They're not like a full movie. But like the people don't walk right. Like they have this sort of floaty movement. Their hands aren't right. Their feet aren't right. And like as they change like position and where they're going, like it doesn't properly move with the camera like filming something would. It just sort of morphs into the next scene. And I feel that's kind of almost how like dreams and nightmares work. Like you're at some place and suddenly it morphs into the next place that you're at, and you don't ever question that. You're just kind of like, yeah, of course I'm not in my bedroom now and I'm actually on top of the Empire State Building. Like, yeah, it totally makes sense for my dream. So let me hear what you think about that. Even if you're still critical of that, it's okay. Give me your criticisms. Yeah, as you guys know, I'm open to criticism. Almost pulled off. Holy cow. Am I still connected? Okay, let me check my sound. Okay, yeah, wow, I almost pulled out my whole microphone rig right for a second there. I put my hand down and caught the wire. Paul White. Paul, what's up, man? I think, is this your first time on here? That's a really cool idea for an RPG using tactical maps from games. Some of the maps from the Ogre Tactics games would be good. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see where you said that, but that is actually a good idea. Oh. Yeah, Alejandro, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm actually using the sort of imperfections, the problems that AI has to make it more dreamlike. I don't know. I honestly, I don't think I'll be using AI for anything else other than this episode on nightmares. Just because when like AI does try to create stuff, it does give this sort of goofy, sort of surrealistic effect where you're just kind of like, wait, what's going on? This guy's mouth is open, but now it's like a doorway after that. Like, what just happened? Like, that's not like a real movie. And that's what I'm going for. Is this sort of like super surreal, like not really making sense because we are literally talking about. And when I say nightmares, I don't just mean like, oh, it's nightmarish. No. Like actual nightmares Japanese people have had that they talk about and explain why it was so scary. Um, and I feel like the way AI creates videos in like Sora or some of these other new programs that are out, it's pretty kind of goofy, melty, imperfect, floaty, not really balanced in any sort of gravity or reality. And that's the way nightmares kind of are, aren't they? They're kind of all over the place. You will see a lot of Will Smith eating spaghetti and people drinking giant Coke cans that like morph in. I know what you're talking about, but like once you say like that AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, it is sort of nightmarish, right? You're just like, ooh, I guess that kind of looks like Will Smith, and he's attempting to eat. This is very strange. But yeah, you kind of get it. When people have made fully generated AI movies or shorts, they are so surreal and trippy. Yes. I always imagine that if someone was on high, yes, like this is what I'm going for. Exactly what you're talking about. It's trippy. It's like a high. It's like a, you're on some sort of acid trip trying to watch this stuff. And that's the feeling I want to give people when they're listening to these nightmares be talked about. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, I mean, oh my God. Obama eating spaghetti. Oh boy, oh boy. All right, hold on. I got to get more to drink. You guys ever get it like if you talk a bunch, like your neck muscles start to get tired? Probably because I talk all day. Ugh, right here, I get like a really tired muscle. I don't know why. Ugh, I need a masseuse. Yeah, Alexa, turn off stuff. Okay. I think it's still on. You want your mango? Yeah. Well, too bad. I have to not like. Be careful with that. Don't dump that soda. There's a lot of soda everywhere. All right. Oh, okay. What did I just hit there? Whoops. Okay. All right. Have you heard of AI generated music? Yeah, of course I have. I actually approve of AI in movies or games rather than music. AI music in its current state is awful and lacks any likability, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I will say I've heard it. I've seen how it like mimics, I've heard the Drake song that was created and stuff like that. There's nothing I've heard from AI that like blew my mind. I was just like, whoa, this song's incredible. So I can understand what you mean, but I feel like that a lot with the art. The art is just completely emotionally void. Like it actually almost feels like it takes away emotion from art. God, I really don't like AI art. It looks like somebody took the brush tool in Procreate and they're just like, I think this is what human look like, and then just like kind of started to draw it and then lost any sense of like actual emotional or physical human connection as it trailed off between like movement, hands, legs, digits, anything like that. It's just ugh. AI Danzig is sick. Oh, I haven't heard that. I'll have to check that out. Tiger Army. God, that's a band I haven't heard of for since all the way back in my AFI days. Tiger Army. Wow. Are they still kicking? Tiger Army? I tried to get into them. I never could really get into that band as much. Davey Havoc always used to like really push them, and I never could be like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, AI art, oh, straight garbage. Like it just, the worst I've seen is like the kind that tries to almost attempt to mimic like the artists of Dark Souls or Elden Ring. It's just kind of like, what if Temu tried to sell Dark Souls or Elden Ring? That's what it would look like. Like it's just kind of this mush of like, oh, that's kind of an idea of like dark fantasy, but why didn't you finish the drawing? Like if you really start to like look into the detail, you're just kind of like, what the hell? What the hell is going on with this part of it? Like all these just sort of mushed together colors, just like you didn't know what the hell you were doing. It's just not there yet. Yeah. I don't know, man. AI is both scary and wonderful at the same time. I really wonder how much it will become part of humanity. I realize like there's no going back. There's no like saying, wait, AI was a bad idea. Let's get rid of it. It's only going to continue to progress. Whether you love it or hate it, there's no choice. It's here now, and it's only as bad as it is now. It only get better from here on out, and part of that's wonderful because I think there's like medical stuff. I think there's technological stuff that will advance even quicker with it. It's also horrifying because there's other aspects where, like, we just heard about this poor kid who committed self-deletion due to what his AI girlfriend told him to do. That's sad to hear. It's really sad to hear. At the same time, I don't know if I would blame the AI for that. I would blame more like, I'd blame the makers for sure. I feel like they didn't have enough safeguards on it. I'd never blame the victim. I'm not trying to do that at all. So just so you know. But I probably would blame other people in his life. And when I say other people in his life, I mean like the creators of the AI. They didn't have enough safeguards in place. It sounds like the mother did try to take away his access to the AI, so I think she was doing a pretty good job. But like, who else was there in his life that could have stepped in? We don't know. We don't know the full story, so something's weird with that situation. Like he was already like mentally not all there if he got to that point. And again, that's not his fault. You're not, gosh, I sure hope I get born with schizophrenia or something like that, or manic depression disorder. So that's not something I'm blaming him for. I'm just saying, like, if he was already in that state, I think that's why he was more vulnerable to it, which is really sad. Yeah, RIP for sure, man. That's so sad and sick and disgusting, and just and I mean, this is the scary thing. This is what I'm talking about, how we can see AI run amok, what can happen. Oh, yeah. I've seen this where like they get one band to try and play another band's style. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's just like you said though, it's just not there emotionally or creatively. Like you can really feel and see a lack of creativity. I mean, I guess kind of why I'm using the AI for the video that I am in this Osoroshi one is it's kind of like I feel like nightmares in general, what makes them nightmarish is the inhumanity. And if there's one thing that was inhumane, it's AI, and that's kind of why it works well for nightmares. But I feel like using it for anything else would just feel wrong. Like I would never be like, here's an idea of what this ghost or this yokai might look like if drawn by an AI. I would be like, no, hell no. I would definitely be hand drawing it myself or go to another artist that I feel is worthy. I don't want to see things like that replaced. Those were human creations, the idea of a ghost, the idea of a yokai and stuff like that. Also, today I stumbled onto this idea while talking with a friend about I drew a kappa on my door at my school. I drew it because there's this quote about like the kappa who got washed away by a river shows us that even experts can fail sometimes. And I just like that quote. But he said like, oh, is this the thing from Mario Brothers? And I thought, oh my God, all this time, Koopas are kappas. Like the Koopa Troopa is a kappa rappa. Like that's where Japanese probably got the idea for the Koopa Troopa. Like it's pretty much like a kappa, right? It's like a turtle that walks like a human and sometimes has a duck bill. Why did I never realize that? Like, why did it take me this long to be like, the concept of the Koopa in Mario is definitely based on the yokai Kappa? My whole neck is really sore from today. I'm probably going to sign off soon. I need to definitely get some rest. I've got a huge day tomorrow where I think I'm going to attempt to epoxy my driveway. Wish me luck on that, guys. I really don't know how that's going to go. I may be making a total mistake. I don't know. But it's been a dream of mine to epoxy my driveway. It's a cracked, stained, broken piece of garbage right now. It doesn't look particularly great. This is not due to my own. This is pretty much how it was to begin with. Like it's just got, it's just an old driveway. That's all. It's from like 1987 or something like that. So I don't think it's ever been redone. So it definitely needs a fresh coat of something. So I researched epoxy. One of the only AI things that I thought was neat was images of what if Studio Ghibli did a Lord of... Okay, that's one thing I like seeing AI used for. So like, for example, like I've seen like, what if Berserk was a 1980s live action movie and AI creates it? Like, who else is going to do that? Like, no, like to be able to have the budget to take amazing pictures like that and everything, nobody's going to waste money on that. Like no one's going to be like, yeah, let me do that and make this massive photo shoot with all the perfect costumes and perfect lighting and perfect backdrops, create a whole studio and then just show it for like a 2 or 3 minute short on YouTube and see what people think. Like, no one's going to drop money to do that. Even the biggest Guts fan in the world, even the biggest Berserk fan in the world isn't going to do that. So when I see somebody make an AI version of like, what if Guts was a 1980s action movie like Conan the Barbarian? That's sick. I love seeing it used like that. Why should I be careful with epoxy, Alejandra? I'm serious. Like, please, like, if you have any warnings for me, I'm like, ears wide open. I want to hear what could happen. I'm being serious. Miyazaki wouldn't approve of AI. You mean Miyazaki from Ghibli? Oh, hell no. He would be furious, dude. I mean, you're talking about, an old school great. Like, of course that makes sense. He wouldn't be happy with it. And I think he's right to not be happy with it. Would you say here, Eric? Man, I am actually curious to see that now, since Berserk is one of my favorite anime and manga. Yeah, I think Google. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna Google it right now. I saw it recently. I was just like, Jesus Christ, this looks amazing. Oh, hey, how is the wasabi? Oh, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Okay. Berserk as a 1980s dark fantasy film. Yeah, look up Berserk early concepts 80s dark fantasy film. Like it's pretty amazing. White wasabi. Okay. There we go. My friend Dylan, I always try to recommend stuff that I think was like really good in Japan, and then I'm like, oh wait, you're vegan, never mind. It's always hard to like recommend stuff to a vegan, man, where it's like, oh dude, have you ever tried white wasabi on steak? Oh wait, never mind. You don't eat steak. Never mind. Anyway, irritation on the skin and isn't good for your lungs. It depends what kind you use. Yeah, I'm only doing it outside for sure, man. Yeah, I don't even have a garage, so I can't even do it like within a garage or anything. All right. Okay, I'll be wearing gloves then for sure. Maybe I should get like a little mask too. I'll wear like a mask when I do it. Thank you for telling me, Alejandra. Like I think it's always good to try new crafts and new skills but I think it's also very important to listen to people who've actually worked with it before when they have warnings. FF7 as an 80s dark fantasy. Shoot, I want to look at that too. What they do with the manga. Wait, are you talking about Dr. Omni? Are you talking about how Berserk got taken over by the friend of the guy who died writing it? Like, you want to see where it goes from there? Why does that work so well? Right, Ted? Like, right, Eric, dude? Right, dude? See what I mean? Like, and think about it. Like, you guys have to agree with that. Nobody would waste money on shooting pictures that would look that great. as Berserk as a 1980s action dark fantasy movie. Like, nobody's about to reach into their wallet and be like, yes, let me pay for this video that would cost way more than anything it would make on YouTube. Please let me set all this up and build entire sets and entire costumes and entire shots and lighting, and just to take a 1 minute video. Nobody's about to do that anytime soon. So AI doing things that just nobody's going to take the time or money to do, I think it makes it one aspect that we should be thankful for. Now, where it gets scary is when people use AI, claim that it's actually something they did, or the worst thing that I've ever heard is people who enter in art contests and use AI to create the art that they enter into the contest. That just straight pisses me off. Oh yeah, Berserk. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read the new stuff that's been created since it was taken over. I don't know. I haven't really heard any reviews yet. There's some guy I watch all the time who pretty much gave me the arc, explained the arc of like the different ages of Berserk and stuff. I need to listen to it again because he did actually cover the new. I need to listen to the whole story over again because even I have the manga. I literally have it, and I've got the giant books of it too. The ones that like came in those giant black leather-bound books and stuff. But it's been ages since the whole series started and up to where it's at now. I love the hand-drawn horror aspect of Berserk. Seeing it done live action like that, especially if they had done it back in the 80s, actually would have worked really well. Yeah, it would have been incredible. Like, what was that movie, Krull? Krull? Like, if they had done a Berserk version, can you imagine? Or like, what was that one that what's his face? Tom Cruise was in. God dang, why can't I remember that now? The one with the guy with the giant horns. As soon as someone says it, I'm gonna be like, oh God, you don't remember that? Days before my local anime convention, they banned AI art days before con last year after getting many concerns from people. Rightfully, yeah, Ricardo, this is like the perfect ban on AI. Like, please don't be using AI to enter in any con. Well, if I hear somebody do something like that, that's when I'm like sickened by the use of AI. When people try to use AI and then push it off as like, yeah, no, this was made by me, a human. And then you look at the hands and they're like, whoop. You're just like, oh, okay. What happened? You just never caught up on articulation? What's going on there? Oh, yeah, I just saw the Trigun one just came out at Walmart, dude. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I've thought about buying Vinland and Trigun because those have both come out in the giant thick books and you can buy them at Walmart for pretty cheap. Yeah, Doctor, I hear you, man. That they redid the first 3 arcs. God, that'd be amazing. That'd be incredible. That's such a good idea, dude. Can you imagine the first 3 arcs redone in like a new like vicious art style? Could you imagine like if the artists from like Elden Ring, like the artists that they have hired and stuff, like were able to redo and like do their version of what they think Berserk arcs were done in their style? God, wouldn't that be incredible? Jeez. We can dream. We can just dream, right? Legend by Ridley Scott. Yes, Legend. God, why couldn't I remember that? Now, if a movie like Legend, you couldn't have Tom Cruise. I think that would be straight garbage. He's a tiny little man who would be, maybe he could. And I don't think it would work out if he was playing Berserk. That would just I think what is he only like 5'3" or something? Berserk. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you could give him a wing and he could a wig, and he could play Casca, right? Casca or whatever her name. Might have to check on that. You talking about manga books like collections or art? Kentaro Miura and Junji Ito are who I pull inspiration from when it comes to horror. I just really enjoy their work. Yeah, Eric, did I hear you, dude? Like, yeah, Junji's got a really crisp, clean illustration when it comes to his linear art. Berserk 98 gets a lot of bad rep for looking cheap, but what isn't very known is the author was very hands-on to the point he revised scripts and told them how his characters should look. Yeah. Berserk 98. Are you talking about the animated series? Or are you talking about like the manga? I've tried to watch some of the animations, and especially that one that's like 3D but then cell shaded over the 3D art. I was kind of like, ugh. The 90s Berserk anime. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit all over the place. I don't know. It doesn't really. I know some people say it looks cheap, but they also got to remember it's from the 90s too. Like they just didn't have as much saturation with color, and just the effects in general weren't there to really help them a lot. And plus, like there wasn't a massive budget on that. I think the worst though is like the 3D cell animated. That one is like the fight is a really good idea for the fight in the bar and everything like that, but then it just like it moves so stiff and rough. It's just kind of like, oh God, why did you do this, guys? I hope one day, if they ever revise, dude, horror stories, what's up, dude? Man, I'm kind of flattered that you're even on here, dude. I'm a huge fan of your stuff, dude. I watched everything. 90s Berserk for the win. Yeah, like I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was cheap. I think it was like the average of that time. But I think what happens with a lot of people, they don't find Berserk till like, late 2020 plus, and they're just like, oh, this looks so cheap and old and garbage. Like, have you ever gone back and watched like the original Akira and stuff like that? I mean, it looks pretty washed out and kind of samey, but for its time, it was revolutionary. That guy was rotoscoping over miniature explosions in a tiny miniature Tokyo he built and then filmed as he exploded stuff in there. Yeah, dude, horror stories. I watched everything. Like, you're the original when it comes to like these like real life, disturbing true life horror stories. I feel like you're the granddaddy of them all. I'm not saying you're old, but like you're the one who created this whole idea of like taking actual horrible things that have happened, like true disturbing stories. Now we've got this more watered down version. I like how visceral you were with your descriptions and everything. Like I like how you just like did your research, read everything, gave us all the information, and you gave it an even tone where you weren't like ever criticizing the people in it, and you weren't also trying to pull away from like the tragedy that happened behind it. You gave us this very how would I say, like hands off, like this is what happened and I'm just telling you what happened, and I'm not trying to romanticize it, but I'm also not trying to be overly empathetic or sympathetic. I'm just trying to give you what the exact information was. You were very objective with it, is what I'm trying to say. You didn't give a subjective spin on it. You were just kind of like, this is what happened, all right? This is what was in the newspaper. This is what was reported at the time. And these are the actual facts, including all the extra stuff I researched and put down. I don't know. I feel like people don't do that anymore. I feel like they really, really like not only get super subjective, but get kind of like, oh, and I feel so bad for what happened. And it's like, do you? Or are you just making cash off of a fucking crazy story? Like, don't play it up that like, your apathy was suddenly turned off because of how much you care about this person you never met. Like, I feel like when it was you, it was just like, I'm giving you hard, cold facts, and this is objective as I can be, and I'm just here to tell the story. Anyway, sorry. I'll stop. I'll stop glazing you there, but I was just always very impressed by your delivery. Record of Lodos is slept on. Record of Lodos? Hold on. Let me check that one out. It sounds familiar, but I don't. Record of Lodos. Record of Lodos? Holy crap, this looks incredible. Okay, this is something I need to check out for sure. This looks like, I mean, this literally looks like could be like a spin-off of Berserk. This looks amazing. How come I've never heard of it? You're not kidding that it's slept on. I've never seen this damn thing, but it looks incredible. I'm saving pictures of this right now to remind myself. Thank you, Doctor. Good recommendation. Berserk is a long series. Too bad it can't be remade into more episodes. Well, I think like some people are already saying like I wish they would redo the arcs or like recover or update the arcs. I feel like if there was ever a series that could be turned into an anime that would be just like incredibly updated and so much you could do to make it look incredible, it would be Berserk. Like, I don't know if anybody would ever get the funding and the support and everything to do it, but my friend really liked Record of Lodos War back in the day. It's like D&D and LOT. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was looking at this right now, dude. I need to check this out, man. I've never even heard of this one. Very cool. I gotta check this out. I watched Akira for the first time recently. I don't really mind the age of a piece of media. My mind was still blown for how wild it was. Maybe because I'm older and an anime fan. No, I mean like the idea behind Akira and like what's happening in it and how it explores the concept of like, it I mean it really was the first kind of with great power comes great responsibility, as tropey and cliche as that sounds. That was the message 100%. Like if you find out you have this kind of control over power, you better be damn careful with it, not a madman, because that power will overtake you, and the horrible, wild things you're doing with this power will eventually do horrible, wild things to you. Like the little people saying that, they're like, it's not meant to be used by big people. That's what they keep telling them. They're like, this power is only supposed to be used by us little people, blue little people. Dungeons and Dragons anime. God, yeah. Like, hey, here's one thing I never understood, and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. It's fine. I'll take the criticism. The original Dungeons and Dragons cartoon was POS. Like, why does anybody look back on that and be like, yo, that was such a good series. Oh my God. Like, was it unique? Yeah, sure, it was unique, but it was also a piece of shit. Like, the character design is awful. The toys that people made recently for him look total garbage. The character design is garbage. It doesn't even make me think of like a fantasy setting. It was like whoever created the character design for those must have been colorblind, because even the colors chosen look awful. Just the writing's not good. They're on a roller coaster and they end up in D&D. Like, what the fuck? Like, am I crazy? Tell me if I'm crazy. But I thought, like, and I'm old enough. I was born in 1979. I was old enough to see it back then, and then look at it again now. And I remember even as a little kid thinking like, ooh, what is this wretched cartoon? And then when I got older, I look back and like, yeah, that was a pretty wretched cartoon. Like, why does anybody, look back on that like it was any kind of masterpiece? Like, and tell me if I'm completely wrong, but I can look back on Ninja Turtles and be like, Ninja Turtles is sick, like I can look back on the comic books and be like, that was really sick. There's some Ninja Turtle like Venus de Milo or whatever that one character they tried to enter in. I was just like, what is this garbage? So there is some bad spins on it. But the Dungeons and Dragons, the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon is just total shit. Like, I mean, it's awful. I was standing the whole time during this stream while doing all that scanning. Ugh. Yeah, dude, take a seat, relax, sit back, enjoy yourself. Just watch the first 2 seasons of Mob Psycho 100. Really good anime. I like the Esper power system. Yeah, Mob Psycho actually has like a lot of incredible lore and rule systems that you're like, wow, this is really good. Eric, where the hell was the acrobat class in D&D? That is the biggest one I always question. A lot of isekai are just bad now. Dude, not only are they bad, it's just like they're literally like beating a dead horse with another dead horse at this point. There's some I really liked. There's some I watched and I was like Overlord or something like that. Like that was good. That was sick. Now let's stop. Okay? It's kind of like zombies. I really like zombies. Zombies are cool. Like I don't want to see any more movies about zombies for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see any video games about zombies for like a long time. Like, I like the fact that Resident Evil has kind of completely drifted away from the world of zombies and into like all other types of monsters and stuff. Like some things need to be given time to like take a break, come back later. I'm not saying we need to stop it forever, maybe there's going to be a new isekai that like blows my mind again, but yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle holds up. Amazon has a section where they play live TV. Oh, wow. Dude, if you guys can find it, let me recommend a YouTube video. There's this one about an interview with a man who was part of the Foot Clan. And he talks about it like as if he really was like part of Shredder's Foot Clan soldiers. From the movies, he's like being interviewed like, yeah, I used to be part of the Foot Clan, like this is kind of what we did and so it's amazing. It's like the funniest thing ever. The guy must have really known his stuff about Ninja Turtles. The way he acts, the way he portrays himself as like a young kid who joined the Foot Clan. It's so authentic yet so funny and so comedically well done. I didn't know there was a D&D cartoon. Reminds me of the Zelda cartoon. What was the thing you always used to say in the Zelda cartoon? Like, oh, princess, give me a break, princess. Jeez, princess. I know exactly what you're talking about, horror stories, like that old Zelda cartoon where it'd keep being the Mario cartoon over and over and over again, and then every Friday you'd be like, oh shoot, here comes the Zelda one, and you'd be like, Zelda kind of sucks. Like, there's a D&D based anime that was good, but I don't remember the name. Yeah, God, the Zelda cartoon, it was drawn kind of good. Like Ganon looked like pretty cool, but I just remember like the way they portray Zelda is he's like kind of like a goofy, clumsy klutz who's just kind of like once in a while getting off a good zinger. And you're just like, I always imagined him a little more stoic than this like wacky, happy-go-lucky, like, golly gee willikers, princess. I really want to give you a smooch, but I'm too silly. Like, you're just like, what the hell is this? Excuse me, princess. That's what it was, Eric. Thank you, dude. Like, you're just like, what? Like, I always imagined it much more like epic, like much more medieval, like that there would be like Yi and this type of stuff. Like, but they just make him like this silly teenager klutz who's just kind of like, gosh golly gee willikers, I sure do have a big old crush on the princess. I sure hope I don't mess up with this arrow here. And you're just like, what's going on? Like, is Link okay? Like, is this like, what's going on with Link here? And watch Zelda cartoon with Beavis and Butthead dubbing. Nice, I like it. Have you seen Prime Evil, all about the time portals that open up and creates escape from the past, present? No, I haven't seen that. What's that from? What about one that always kind of surprised me from its time was Inhumanoids. Did you guys ever watch that back in the 1980s? I was like, Jesus, this is insane. I remember that really scaring the crap out of me. They made Link Wheeler from Captain Planet. God, Captain Planet. Did they do that? Wait. Speaking of Captain Planet, do you guys remember Captain N, the Game Master? How he had like Kid Icarus. He would fight like the Eggplant Wizard. God, what else was there? He didn't have Samus, but he had a Metroid that would help. Mother Brain. Why was Mother Brain a sassy black woman? Like, that doesn't make any sense now that I think about it. Like, what else was there? Like, there's Icarus. Wasn't Link part of that one? Oh no, Mega Man was. That's right, Mega Man. I think Mega Man was portrayed pretty well in that series. What else was there? Hold on, let's look this up now. Now I'm like really interested. You guys got me like really deep in my nostalgia now. Captain N, the Game Master. I don't remember this. They used to fly on a Game Boy. Oh, Simon Belmont. What the hell was up with Simon? He was like a bleach blonde, like extremely tan, like, and he was like, he talked like Johnny Bravo almost. He'd be like, look at me over here, looking beautiful. You're like, what is going on with him? Who is the girl? Which series is she supposed to be from? Kid Icarus. He had to end everything with us. Like he'd be like, we really gotta save us. Like you're like, can you stop with this? Like why would, that's not Latin, that's not any language, not even Pig Latin. Stop. Mother Brain. King Hippo was the, that doesn't even make sense. King Hippo was like some sort of like blue zombie looking guy. Mega Man. Why is Mega Man green? Ay. Yeah. Simon Belmont was like Indiana Jones / Pitfall. Yeah. It was really weird. He's got like pilot glasses on. Like, what the hell? Like, if I think of Simon Belmont in my head, it's like more of like a Romanian, like dark black, long hair, like, maybe dressed in like, like a leather vest and like, I don't know, like just not wearing, not looking like you have like a surfer cut. Not, he looks like a surfer, right? Like he looks like a 1990s BMX surfer / skateboarder type. Yo, dude, what's up? It's me, Simon Belmont, bro. Like Eggplant Wizard. Eggplant Wizard was okay. I think that's the only character they kind of nailed. King Hippo. What the hell was up with, why King Hippo? Of all the bad guys to choose, it must have just been like, yo, he's super cheap to get rights on. Let's choose him. Like if you're gonna have Mega Man, why not Dr. Wily? I don't know. Who was the girl? Is that like Princess Zelda? Inhumanoids and the Real Ghostbusters. Yeah, there's the two shows I watched a bunch. Oh, God. The memories. Such good memories. Then the idea, like the story of like Captain N is like, one day I was just using my zapper to play Nintendo when I was suddenly sucked into the TV. You're like, wait, what? So I think you missed a couple plot lines there. Like, what? Primeval has giant bats. Okay, hold on. We're going to go look at this right now. Primeval TV show. Oh. It's like a live action show. This kind of reminds me of Primeval, kind of reminds me of Land of the Lost. Do you guys remember that show? It looks kind of cool though. Maybe like Land of the Lost or like Sliders. If you guys remember Sliders, which I imagine would be a group of people eating smaller sized hamburgers, but it turned out they were time tripping. Simon Belmont looks like Frank Frazetta fainting. The cartoon didn't get that. Yeah, okay, thank you, thank you. Okay. Yeah, okay. Do you know that? Okay, I know who you're talking about now. Do you know that guy Frank Frazetta? Like or Frazetta or Frazetta or whatever. Do you know like he became like a massive bodybuilder, like to get better at painting muscles? Like he became like this ripped, massive hulk of a man. I watched Land of the Lost for the theme song, then I changed it back to cartoons. Sliders was good. I loved Sliders. Um, Land of the Lost did have a good song there. Land of the Lost. When you met your wife, were you worried about the money you were going to spend on dates? No. I guess you'd have to meet my wife. She's very thrifty. She's very spendthrift. The amount of money you'd spend on dates. I think in general, most Japanese women you would date, you're gonna just do like basic, take them out to a cafe, take them out to dinner, I think if you went too hardcore, they would actually be kind of like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Like, I mean, I don't know. It depends. It really depends on what you have in mind for a day. I mean, food, restaurants, cafes, coffee, it's all pretty cheap in Japan. Captain Simon and the Space Monkeys is a great 90s cartoon. Kind of like Star Trek. Wait, that does sound familiar. Captain Simon and the Space Monkey. Yeah. Yeah, that's super rare. Isn't it like a 2% thing? It's super rare. What? That's insane. I slightly remember this cartoon. God, this is the type of cartoon that you watched it as a kid, and then later when you grew up, you're like, wait, was that like a real cartoon, or was I like dreaming about that? Like, you ever have those shows where you're like, did that episode really happen, or did I just dream that? Like, I remember the show Punky Brewster. I don't know if you guys remember, that's a really old show, but there was a episode of Punky Brewster that was like traumatizing to me, where it was like a special Halloween episode where they get lost in a cave, and like one girl gets like stuck halfway into the wall of the cave. One of her friends gets like turned into a spider human person hybrid creature, and another one is like there's like parts of another human stuck and I was like, wait, no, that show was like a happy-go-lucky silly sitcom. That an episode like that never existed, but I remember researching it and be like, oh my god, that did exist. I remember this very low budget live action Mystic Knights of Tirananog. Okay, hold on. I'm pretty sure I remember that one. That's gonna be another one where I'm gonna be like, oh wait, that wasn't a dream. Yeah, dude. Holy crap. Mystic Knights of Chiramana. This is another one. You're like, wait, did that really exist? Was I ever? Yeah, okay, yeah, I will say like so Pepguard, you're asking like the heavy questions right now. Holy cow, dude. This is good for a video. Hold on. Hold on. Pepguard. No, I think you figured out I had a different video in mind for tomorrow, but hold on, dude. You got some more questions? Like Pepguard, these are great questions, dude. Like, okay. Number 1, dating in Japan, meeting my wife's family, expenses while dating, getting gifts for a significant other. Dude, you're like giving me tomorrow's video in my mind right now. Pepguard, hit me with some more. What else? I'm gonna make Pepguard tomorrow. Hold on, you're getting credit for tomorrow's video. Like you're killing it right now with the questions. These are like really good questions. Okay, hit me with some more. Yes, Pepguard, keep hitting me with these questions. Like these are actually really good. Like, was I afraid to meet my wife's family? That is an incredible. I never even thought to answer such a thing, but that's such a good question. All right, yeah, keep hitting me with these. Yeah, not only am I going to answer your questions, you're going to get a full video, dude. I don't want to answer it right now because this will just kind of like, but keep throwing these at me, pepper me with these questions. Did your wife's family think you were Yakuza? Nah, they're like, did my wife's family think you were Yakuza? Actually, you know what? I'm just going to put that in there too. And this is from Ricardo. Actually, guys, any one of you who wants to throw in. Throw any of these in you got right now. Did your wife's? That's a really good question. I like that one. Think you were Yakuza. Okay. Yeah, dude, horror stories are coming up with like great questions at the spot. This is the thing I love the most about my channel though, is that like I think there's questions that you don't even think to answer after you've lived there for so long. So when people come up with these, you're like, oh yeah, of course someone would want to know that. Like to me, if I answered them in Japan, people would be like, duh, like whatever, like no one cares. But if someone hasn't like thought about these from overseas point of view, then you miss out answering a lot of great questions. Were you afraid your children were going to be bullied for being half? That's a good one. This is actually some that like really did cross my mind while I was going through the whole process of getting married and having kids. I'm gonna call this dating and marriage in Japan. This is great. Ah, dude, I got so many good, like I got some good stories and good answers for some of these. Dang. I was about to crash for the night, but now you're hitting me up with like the best questions ever. All right, excellent. I wish you guys would every week, please hit me up with these kind of questions, dude. You're making my videos so much easier. Yeah, hold on. I will. Give me just a second, guys. Keep throwing the questions. Keep talking. Yeah, let me check it out. Good. What do we got, bud? Oh wow. Oh, and you got the guy on the. That's crazy. Yeah, you're running on like the rarest things you can get. It's funny that you did this. I always use the same thing to track, like before I've made up an entire fence and everything like that. I used to do this all the time. Very cool. Keep it up. Unrelated, but what's the experience of getting tattoos in Japan compared to getting them in the US? Yeah, I had a half sleeve on this arm, and when I got the full sleeve done, it covered up my old half sleeve. So I'd say yeah, and actually my chest here is done in Japan too. That one I'll answer right now. Actually, well, that is good for like a future tattoos in Japan. Maybe people will be sick of me talking about tattoos in Japan. Differences in style and application. I will tell you right now, they're way more expensive. Anything you're going to pay in America, you're going to pay double for in Japan. The main reason being is it's more rare that people get them. The other thing I'd say that people need to be careful about is make sure you're going to a place that uses an autoclave. Check that they sterilize everything. There's a lot of cheaper kind of like dive bar, back alley tattoo shops that they might be like, hey, we still do teibori, which is like the really old tapping art. That's actually where the name of tattoo comes from because it used to tat 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 tat. Like that might be really cool that they do that. That they use that really old tool, and it's actually very hard to do those. Those tattoos take way longer, and they actually go deeper into the skin than a normal tattoo gun does. But guess what? Unless you're using a new tool every time they do it, it's not sterilized, and there is a lot of Yakuza that have hepatitis C because of that. Check with your tattoo artist, get them to show you that they have an autoclave. An autoclave is the machine that doesn't just boil the needles and stuff like that, it shakes them. A lot of people don't realize this, that when you're boiling needles and boiling machine equipment that needs to be sterilized. Yes, come here. Oh boy, it's the biggest chunk ever. I'm a big chunky baby. Everybody loves me because I'm so big and chunky. You got to realize that not just boiling is enough. You actually need a special machine called an autoclave that shakes and breaks the shells of any kind of like diseases, parasites, or viruses that could be on there. What's wrong, chunky boy? Hmm? Okay, give me a second. Hold on. Whoa. Sorry, I had to give him a big snuggle. Your stepdad got Hep C from a tattoo in prison. Yeah, dude, it's very easy to get Hep C from tattoos, man. You do not want to be living life with that, dude. It can take a huge toll on your liver and all types of problems like that. There is so many Yakuza who have it. And it's because they went to go get, these back alley, like, dive bar tattoos, or like I said, teibori, which is using the actual like tapping needle, which, they can make some very beautiful tattoos. They've got incredible art, but you're puncturing the skin with something that's not sterilized and you are mixing blood. Who would be the perfect employee in Japan? Someone who always follows the rules while getting results, or someone who can take the abuse from the boss for many years? I'd say someone who can follow the rules while always getting results, because any you kind of don't have a choice either way. Even if you get results, you're taking the abuse. Even if you don't get results, you're taking the abuse. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's like a lot of bosses in Japan that are like grateful, inspiring, like motivational. Like it's not just constant power harassment or something like that, but you could be stuck in a situation like that for years on end. Reminds me of the tattoo episode of Tales from the Crypt. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. I'll have to go back and watch that. Yeah, I mean, you can. Is that the one where like the tattoo comes to life and like starts to kill them and stuff like that? I mean, yeah, like look, just be careful. Make sure you're in like a really professional setting and everything like that. Like have them show you like what their setup is. Don't be afraid to ask for that. If they start to give you, shit for that, if they start to be like, "Yo, what the hell? Like, why you even care? Like, you afraid of needles?" Like, just be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, man, I'm out of here." Like, don't take shit like that. There will be some people who give you some, like that's a rougher crowd. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like the stereotype people used to have of tattoo culture back in like the early 1980s and stuff, where it's like only crazy street people and motorcyclists and AWOL sailors get tattoos. Like that's what they still imagine in Japan. And that's how they still act, is like it's like a rougher crowd and stuff like that. But don't get pushed around. Yeah, and it looks like a toy when it comes to life. Oh God, the effects. Hold on, I gotta get more to drink. I gotta stay hydrated, man. I didn't. One of the biggest problems of being a teacher, man, is you don't get to hydrate and you don't get to go to the bathroom all day. So you're just kind of like stuck in this um, dehydrated UTI situation. Ooh, almost knocked over that. I've always liked tattoo designs from video games. One good example are the curse tattoos from. Oh God, yeah, those are so good, right? That's kind of what always inspired me, because they're always like black and white, right? Like they don't have any color in those tattoos. That's kind of what always inspired me with like, I'll never do color. Like I'll always keep everything I do black and white, because I kind of like that whole sort of like ink on paper type of style. God, those tattoos are sick, dude. I'd love to have all that. I wish I could have more done now. Um, maybe one day, who knows? Let's see, what else? I always wonder, okay, who would want to be a salaryman? I always hear bad things about it. Can a salaryman or woman find happiness? Hmm. Can a salaryman find happiness? Um, I do mostly talk about the negative things, and I think it mostly is pretty negative. It's negative to a point where like this next generation is refusing to work those jobs. I think mostly the most negative aspect of it is just the hours are insane. Like, I mean, most days you're working 12 hours, which is just, I mean, phenomenally insane. Like to have to work 9 to 9 every day. Um, I wouldn't call the job salary man. I'd call it suicide man, because that's all you'd want to do. Working a job 12. I don't care what the job is. 12 hours every day. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I was doing art, I probably could do it 12 hours. Um, okay, so the only benefit that I've really heard that I think like a lot of dudes really enjoy is there is kind of like a boys club mentality sometimes, where you don't just become like work friends, you become like best buddies if you're in a good environment where people accept you and stuff like that. And it's to a point where they go out drinking every night together, partying it up and stuff like that, even with the boss. Sometimes they become very close, tight knit, have this boys club mentality, and make long term, friendships and stuff like that. On the downside, I mean, they end up not seeing their kids grow up. To a point that like I've heard stories where like the kids just don't associate their dad as part of their life at all, which is just so sad, man. I can't imagine neglecting my kid enough that like when he grows up, he's like, oh yeah, I guess I have a dad. I don't really know much about him because he was always at work. Um, the only other benefit I can think is usually the pension is really good. Most of these guys who work those jobs, I think they get like half their salary for the rest of their life. But pensions are getting more and more rare in Japan. So my brother was trying to convince me to let him tattoo Freddy Krueger on my shoulder when I was like 13. Kind of wish I had let him. Oh, I don't know. I don't know though, because if you had done it when you were 13, I mean, unless you were fully grown by then, you would have a good chance to have stretch marks absolutely annihilate what he had done. Especially if you grew up and had like huge shoulders or something like that. Like, ask any pregnant woman if they regret getting a tattoo and then getting pregnant and then seeing how that tattoo looks post pregnancy. I think you'd find a lot of them saying, yes, why did I ever choose to get my belly tattooed? And then, look at a picture when you try to draw it, you know, and then stretch it and then put it back. I mean, it just doesn't properly take form again. 13, I think he's got still too much growing to go through, unless, I mean, most people don't reach their full height at 13. I don't know. I wouldn't have recommended it. I'll be honest with you. I've learned how to tattoo myself. Like I've learned all the machines. I bought all the ink. I've tattooed both of my legs. So I do have kind of a background in it. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Horror stories. I'd really worry what kind of stretches it would go through. Like, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's probably best you didn't do that. Um, you know, especially I would say probably I don't know how old you are. If you're about like my same age, I'm 45 years old. Um, the ink and the machines back then weren't as good as they are now. So like for example, like my tattoo is like super old now. Like I mean, this thing is I don't know how many years old at this point. Like this is when did I get this done? Like 2008. So we're looking at what, 15 years here, right? And I mean, it still looks like really good. It doesn't have that kind of like greenish tint that a lot of black tattoos turn into like this nasty green. Number one, because the guy used really high quality ink. Number two, the technology is good enough now that you can almost do it like an oil painting. I mean, you can see like the quality of it has this sort like it gets worse up here, and that's mostly because he was having to do a cover up with like a really God, the tattoo artist I had do this before, like what an idiot. I mean, me and him. I didn't know what the hell I was, doing. I looked at his portfolio and was like, "Oh, it's so. I guess probably he'll do better when he does my tattoo." No. Like I can definitely look back on the tattoo artist who did my tattoo and think, "Wow, I was like a million times better at art than that guy was, and I still let this guy tattoo me. I can't freaking believe I did that." And luckily, I did afford the cover up and everything like that, but his was trash, just straight trash. And I can't believe, like, I guess I was in such a rush to get tattoos. I mean, that's an amateur mistake. Hey, oy, oy. Thank you for answering. Are salarymen always people who did not go to college? What? No, almost always 100% of the time they went to college. Graduating from Tokyo University I wouldn't say it guarantees success, but I mean, that's like graduating from like Harvard. That's like the equivalent to in like an Ivy League school. So I would say it might not guarantee success, but I would say it opens up a ton of doors. But I'm not sure, like most salarymen, we're talking about jobs that have a college background. Definitely. All right. Anyway, Freddie would have looked like a burnt hot dog with a fork by now. Yeah, I mean, like, he probably would have looked more like Slender Man. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have been like, look at, is that Slender Man with a hat and a striped sweater? Like, what is going on? Like, it was Freddie back when I was 13. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. I grew. I got bigger. I enjoyed tattooing when I was tattooing, but my mentor screwed me out of my license. What? I tried to re-up my license and he called and had me canceled because I wanted to go on my. Oh, wow. Eric, dude, I'm sorry to hear, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the one thing that always used to piss me off is like I tried to do apprenticeships in America, and almost any guy I would talk to would be like, yo, $5,000 straight up. And like, you work under me. And I was just like, $5,000? Like, that doesn't assure me anything. Like, I could understand that, work for free. That makes sense. I could understand maybe pay for your own supplies, but $5,000 for what? Like, that doesn't give you, the license for bloodborne diseases that every tattoo artist in America needs. That doesn't give you any of your equipment. That doesn't give you any of your inks. That doesn't give you, any sort of like technical, aspects that you need to like plug in, hook up, set up your rig, give you your chair to rent out. Like 5,000 is just you talking to me about like what you do. What? Almost everyone I talk to would always say that, and I'd just be like, "Fuck this, dude. What?" You know, I don't know what it is. Like maybe it's probably changed now. I haven't been to a tattoo artist in America in a very long time, but almost every tattoo artist I ever talked to in America had a fucking attitude. Like, what the hell? Like that they were like some sort of badass. Like they were some sort of like any tattoo artist you'll meet in Japan has the same level of customer service that like any other place. Like, I've had nothing but very, very nice tattoo artists in Japan that I've talked to that are just like, yeah, of course. What do you need? Yeah, let's talk about it first. Go ahead, take a seat. Here, I'll draw some stuff up for you. And like, the only thing I will say though is, um, they don't like you schedule your appointment and you put $50 down to hold your place. If you don't show up, they just keep that $50 for the hour. And then they do the tattoo and they don't tell you exactly how much it's going to cost until a couple hours have gone by and then they're like, all right, today's going to be like $300. Come back next week, we'll finish up. And then like the next one will be like, $500 this time. It was like 5 hours we went for. And you're like, oh, okay, Jesus. You're a go for 95% of the time, and they only really teach you anything near the end of the apprenticeship. I hated my life a lot through the time, but I pushed through and I got that in the end. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I learned how to do it in Japan. You don't need any license. You can literally just order the equipment. I actually had a friend um, who saw me looking into getting an apprenticeship on YouTube and was like, yo, dude, I've got like all the equipment I used to tattoo out in Okinawa for a bunch of military guys. Um, I don't do it anymore. Now I work for like the US Embassy as a guard. I'd be really happy to trade you, cash for all my equipment, or I really could use an LCD TV right now if you have an extra one of those. I'm moving into Osaka. And that's what I did. I had an old LCD TV and I traded him that for like tons of equipment, like boxes and boxes of needles, boxes and boxes of like ink, like, and then the ink he gave me is like really good level ink. It was like really high quality. He gave me multiple machines, some that were custom, some that were like ordered. He showed me which ones were the best. He gave me the foot pedal. He showed me how to set up. He even let me tattoo on him for my first tattoo ever. He was like, I really want Rat Fink. You think you could do that? And I got through all the lining and everything of Rat Fink. I never got to the shading. He actually let like another professional guy do the shading. But then after I messed with him, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down and do both of my legs. My first tattoo looked like straight trash. It was a skull, and it was so bad that I did a cover up on it where I turned the skull into like a spider's like backside and then made a giant spider web. That came out okay. I did another one where it was like a graffiti one, and I fucked it up totally. Like I blew out most of the ink. The ink like went too deep into the skin, so like the fine lineage just like blew out a bunch all over. So I had to go over that one again. And finally, the last one I did was like a gas mask with a barcode next to it. And that one finally did start to come out okay, where the lining was okay. And you know what? You know what? What really pulled me away from doing tattooing, like what I really didn't like about it, how slow you have to draw. And I probably people think I'm a total idiot. Like that's fine, whatever. Like I guess I can't explain it unless you're another artist, but I don't like how slow you have to go in tattooing. You have to draw very, very slow. And I just, as an ADHD person who needs to like, I need it done now. I need it done now. I couldn't take it. I couldn't slow down. I couldn't, like with me when I draw, I'm like doing like these big like shapes and, under drawings like super fast. And then I kind of get like a shape I can start to see, and I'm like molding it with like a little more detail. And then I come back in there with the pen and I start to add like the hyper detail. And like that's my love. That's what I'm super passionate about. And you cannot approach tattooing like that. There's just nothing that tattoo mimics in that manner. It's a totally different medium. What do we say? What did I miss here? Hold on. I'm glad you made it through. Never let jerks discourage you. Yeah, dude. Horror Stories has got the good advice right there. He's right, man. Don't ever let anybody discourage you guys with anything you want to do, like with anything you pursue. That's one thing I always tell the kids who I teach to be artists and stuff like that. If they have a certain style, they'll be like, yeah, like I can draw this way, but like people tell me it looks like crap and stuff. And I'll be like, don't listen to them. Tell them shut up. Like, just like if you have a certain way you like to draw, keep working on that until it becomes like, your thing, your bevel, your unique trait. Like, don't let anybody tell you like, that way sucks. Like, you should still learn all different avenues of art and learn a bunch of different techniques. But if you have your own style, don't let anybody tell you that it sucks. Like, it's you. That's you. That's you speaking on paper. Aspartame Brain Tumor, what's up, dude? Welcome back again, buddy. Always glad to see you here. What is bad? I have a lot of clientele around me I live that wants me to tattoo them, but I told them I can't touch you. It's a felony, and I'm not doing that to my art like that. Well, can you still go for the license and stuff? Like, if you get the license, are you in the clear? I don't know. It's probably different in every state. I'm not sure how it works. I think here in Florida, as long as you have like the Bloodborne training, like the Bloodborne license that says like the Bloodborne illnesses licenses or blood, like um, if you've played the game Bloodborne, you pretty much can be a tattoo artist. Okay, so like talk to Miyazaki, get with From Software, and you're good to go. All right. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I got my first tattoo a few months ago. The concept art of Incubus from Silent Hill. I love it. Hard part is coming up with the rest of the ideas for my arm. Why don't you just do a full Silent Hill sleeve, man? I mean, what if there was ever something easy like so, I mean, don't say it has to be like this, do whatever you want, but like get a couple of the different creatures and then the space in between fill it up with like mist. You know what I mean? Like just some sort of like gray mist sort of swirling around and everything like that. I mean, the best thing with mist or smoke or anything like that is it fits the muscle. Like what a lot of people don't understand is in modern tattooing, tattoo artists have learned to make a tattoo really look good. It needs to fit the human muscle. Um, like your muscle isn't just like a straight 2D line like these very old sailor tattoos and what they called old school tattoos and stuff. Why a lot of those don't always look so great unless they're done like directly on your chest is because the chest is just like flat, right? Like, I mean, for the most part, I guess you could be more lumpy, but below your collarbones and stuff like this, it's mostly just like a flat surface. So 2D tattoos there look okay, but when you get to your arm with 3D stuff, it's better to curve it around the way the actual muscle twists and everything like that. And if you were doing Silent Hill, I would say get the rest of the characters done, get your favorite monsters in there, and then fill up the area in between with like mist and everything. You got yourself a full sleeve. Liquor from Resident Evil and Doom monsters, Silent Hill theme all the way around would be cool. Yeah, I would say that'd be mad sick. Get one of the nurses for sure. Get get your favorite characters. Like is it James Sunderland, or are you a Carol fan? Do you like Maria? Like who do you like? Put one of those in there for like a mix between good and evil. Um, you know, and then get Abstract Daddy for the rest. Yeah, you gotta have Pyramid Head, no question, dude. Yeah, and the nurse, yeah, exactly, the nurses. And the nurses too, like they have sort of a curvy, sort of swirly kind of feel to them too, so they would be excellent. I'd say the biggest thing you'd have to worry about is your placement for Pyramid Head, as obviously he has a pyramid for a head. So there's going to be a part that has a very strict, linear, man-made, non-organic shape to it that you would have to find the placement perfect for it. But of course, just ask your tattoo artist where they suggest. I'd say probably like where the shoulder meets the meat of the chest would be the best area for the head to go, because you can have like a perfect triangle there and still be okay with it being sort of 2D. I would say, I mean, if she's really like, okay, my suggestion to you, like, I mean, if she's like a really talented artist and she has like a huge love for Silent Hill, all right, if you've already got one part of it done by her, just tell her, hey, um, you know, go crazy. Um, if you allow a tattoo artist to like really just indulge a style, like to indulge in a sleeve or a concept that they've always, had a passion for, you're going to get your best work. I mean, it's forcing them to get into stuff like they hate the most. Like any tattoo artist I've ever talked to said like lettering is like the most boring shit they've ever done in their life. Like if someone's like, I just want to get like this, this tattooed right across here, the word proletariat, or like, bourgeoisie tattooed. Like, oh, okay, all right, fine. And they're just kind of like, all right, finish. $500, please. My wife, then girlfriend, heard how my mentor treated me and seen it. She said it took every ounce of willpower not to cuss him out, since I was basically a doormat to him, but stayed loyal to the shop. God, dude. See, this is what I hate about like tattooing in America. Like, like in Japan, there's some of the same stuff. Like you have to stick with your senpai for a while. Like you have to stick with their shop for a certain amount of years. And they'll let you know from the get-go. They're not going to be like, hey, now that you've finished your apprenticeship, you know, surprise, you need to stay with me for the next decade. But usually it's about 3 years. You need to stick with them. And they get a percentage of your pay. You don't rent out the spot either. Like you don't have to rent it out. What happens is you're part of the shop now, and you make your tattoos, you sell your stuff, and you have to give them anywhere from 10 to 30% of what you make. So that's what my friend Benny did for 3 years, and then he finally busted out on his own, and now he's making mad cash. But they're straight up with you. They're not gonna like, try to con you later and be like, wait, but wait. Now, if you try to walk out on that 3-year deal and start your own shop, I've heard horror stories of like what happens to people. Like it's not almost every tattoo shop in Japan has some sort of Yakuza ties, and they can get into the mix if you decide to betray that. So like, I don't know. I guess that is the downside. Anyway, guys, we're reaching 9:30. I think I gotta crash for the night, man. If I don't crash early on a work night, I won't wake up spry and ready to hit it bushy-eyed and bright-tailed. Wait, I think I got that mixed up. Bright-tailed and bushy-eyed? I'm just joking. I do need to give myself some rest here, but my mentors literally took me all my designs and said they were his pieces that he spent. Damn, dude. Oh, dude, Eric, I'm getting angry just listening to you tell me this story. God damn, dude. What the fuck? That's one artist to another, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. Oh, tattoos. Okay, you know what? Let me write that down. Tattoos in Japan. Difference in style and application. Yakuza ties to tattoo apprenticeship. See, like, this is stuff like, of course, this is like good questions and good connections. I never think sometimes of like these ideas for videos. All right, thank you guys. Like amazing suggestions for tonight and a bunch of material for tomorrow. Dude, horror stories again. Flattered you're here, dude. This is sick, man. One of my favorite YouTubers. Guys, yeah, dude, great conversation for tonight, dude. It was fun as always. Like just a blast to hang out with you all. Super fun talking about tattoos too, man. I don't really get to have like this kind of conversation often. Um, and Eric, dude, oh my God, dude, fuck. Your story is like if I kept listening to it, I would start to like burn with rage. It's like one of those stories where like it's so unfair that like you end up staying awake at night being angry for the other person. Dude, holy shit, dude. Oh my God. Good night, man. Yeah, dude. I suck at Guitar 12, dude. When I didn't get to say hi to you when you logged on. I'm sorry, man. I must have missed it. Yo, did you really watch a lot of my Japanese videos? Damn, dude. That's crazy. Sometimes I'm always like shocked when I hear other people like I really enjoyed their videos. Your Maker and Lazy Masquerade used to watch my stuff, and that always kind of shocks me when they still talk to me, like give me the time of day where I'm just like, damn, dude, you guys are huge now. That's insane, dude. I'm crazy. That's crazy that you watched my stuff. Lazy Masquerade moved out there. He's in Japan now, so he doesn't need to watch any of my stuff now. He made it. He's a made man. But dude, guys, thank you always. Yeah, Tim, hey, keep it up with all the artwork, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing what you upload soon. Always give me a chance to shout your stuff out. And yeah, dude, horror stories, please come back for more, dude. You've hit me up with some great questions and just cool to fucking chill with. It's all good, man. Get back. Yeah, I will get back. Dude, I hope you do get into the shot. Like, seriously, Eric, dude, like, go for it, man. Like, I don't know. Like, go for it. And then if there's like a way I can shout out your shop to give you, like, to help out with like any kind of advertisement for it, hit me up, dude. Anything I can do to help out a fellow artist. You and Tim both, right? Like anytime I can shout out an artist, promote their work or anything like that, God, we need all the help we can get in the small community that we have and stuff. Like my best friend is half Japanese, so I was debating living in Japan for many years. Oh, wow. Interesting. I have a friend who's half Japanese. He's back here, this guy. I don't know if you guys No, I'm not, don't worry, they can't see you. You're behind your computer. You're okay. He was just saying he had a friend who's half Japanese, and I said I also have a friend who's half Japanese. I'm talking about my son, if you guys are wondering. What's on the agenda for tomorrow? That's a good question. I'm thinking, I don't know if we'll do Silent Hill. We might actually do maybe another indie game, another indie Japanese game, but like not like I didn't research anything at all and just like dropped that one game on there last time and it was Chinese. And I was just like, what the hell is going on here? This game makes no sense. Poorly translated game. There's a weird game I have that's like an FMV horror game that I want to try and play, and we'll check that out maybe tomorrow. But guys, as always, super fun time. And as always, please remain friends. You're more than just viewers. And keep in contact, jump on the Discord, and let's stay communicating as always. All right, I'll drop you guys with a video tomorrow. And again, sorry about the membership situation. Hopefully YouTube gets that cleared up with my W-9 form.